Hello and welcome to Frank Bailey Field in Schenectady, New York for this afternoon's Liberty League matchup between the University of Rochester and the Union College Dutchmen. Hello and welcome inside the broadcast booth. I am Andrew Santillo alongside Connor Collette. And Connor, the Dutchmen are 5-1. They're coming off of the bye. Their most recent game 2 weeks ago against St. Lawrence was a 44-7 victory. So 2-0 in the Liberty League, victories over Buffalo State and St. Lawrence. And this afternoon's opponent, the University of Rochester, 1-2 in Liberty League play. So Union looking to, they lost that game a few weeks ago, back earlier this month to Utica University, who is undefeated still at this point. But Union looking to continue at least winning, piling up these Liberty League victories with their goal in mind of trying to, win the Liberty League with only 4 games left. So they come off the bye, 4 games left, 5-1, 2-0 in the league, and they continue to kind of move things in the right trajectory, the right direction here as they take on this Rochester team this afternoon.
Yeah, Union had 2 big wins after that tough loss to Utica, put them back on track. Now they have their confidence back. They won by big point differential, still scoring over 40 points, over 50 points a game, they let up 1 touchdown in those last 2 games. Had a lot of confidence going into the bye. Hopefully they were just able to work on themselves and get the best they could for this week and the future coming up.
Yeah, and you'll hear from Union head coach Jeff Behrman in just a minute here in the pregame. We talked to him pregame. He talked about, getting healthy, getting kind of back to, fresh, freshening everybody up, but also getting ahead or getting back in terms of academically, trying to get everybody up to speed or ahead with these last 4 games, the most important stretch of the season, obviously, with this afternoon's game against Rochester, next week at Hobart, then home against Ithaca, and then the annual Dutchman Shoes game to end the season down the road in RPI, that game in the middle of November. So 4 weeks left here. Rochester, as you see on your screen, has made its way out onto the far side of the field, and Union on the near side here this afternoon. Beautiful day here in Schenectady. The temperature is supposed to get close to 70 degrees, which late October, if you're not from the Capital District, that is about all we could ask for here, because we're going to have about 4 or 5 months of freezing temperatures. So terrific temperature here. The kickoff temperature is going to be about in the mid-60s. It's 57 right now, but it's expected to get up into 64, 65, which is great weather for the fans, and it might even be a little warm for the players, to be honest with you, but I'm sure they'll take that over, maybe a 20-degree day, which we'll see probably down the road here in a month or so.
Yeah, I mean, they've been practicing at night. They've been practicing like 8, 9 o'clock. They're used to the cold now. This might be a little warm for them.
Captains coming out to midfield for the Union side. That's Austin St. Pierre, I.K. Iribor, Tim Driscoll, and Stan Koss. 4 of the 5 captains out there for the Dutchmen. Rochester's got 3 of its captains out there on the far side of the field as we are ready for the coin toss here. Again, Union wearing their home garnet tops, gray pants, which I don't know if we've seen this combination, white helmets with the U and garnet on it. Rochester has won the toss, and they've deferred to the second half. Rochester wearing their road white uniforms, blue lettering and numbers, and the blue helmets. The Yellow Jackets, coached by 4th-year head coach, 4th season for Chad Martinovich, and he knows the Liberty League pretty well. He was a Hobart graduate, played at Hobart, class of 1994, and was an assistant coach at RPI in the mid-2000 decade, 2004 to 2007, also coached at UAlbany. Most recently, the head coach at MIT. Union is head coached by Jeff Behrman. He's in his 7th year, 6th season, 41-17 all time. And the Dutchmen have won 12 of their last 14 Liberty League games, dating back to the 2019 season when they went undefeated in the league and went on to the NCAA tournament. As we get ready for the national anthem, you will hear from Union head coach Jeff Behrman and get his thoughts on this afternoon's game against Rochester. being joined in the pregame, as always, by Union head coach Jeff Behrman. And, Coach, you're coming off the bye. Was that a good time? You got, the 4 most important games, obviously, on the schedule remaining. What was the focus over the last week without a game?
Well, I think the bye always helps, and where it was after 6 games was a good time for us. The bye week, we focus on academics, right? Get caught up, or stay caught up, or get ahead. That was a big message. 2, it's we don't practice as much, so we're trying to let some guys heal up and get fresh as we move into the last part of the season.
The defensive unit has only allowed 1 touchdown over the last 8 quarters, only allowing 13 points per game. What can you say about the defensive unit, maybe over the last couple of games, but overall this season?
Yeah, I think they're playing together. They're playing together. They're doing their individual jobs, which allows them to play really well together. And they're being opportunistic. We've been able to get some takeaways in those couple games as well. And, we're tackling well, and that's the key.
This afternoon's opponent is Rochester. They come in with a running back, Daniel Papantonis, who leads the NCAA with over 1,000 yards rushing. They've got a couple of other guys as well. What's going to be the biggest key for your defense going up against a rushing attack that averages over 230 yards?
Yeah, they run the ball very, very well. They're very efficient at it. I think they're well coached up front. Their tight ends and O-line do a terrific job in front of the back, and then Papantonis is a really, really special player. He runs the ball hard. He's got really, really good vision, and he doesn't waste movement. So he'll puncture it and he'll hurt you if you're not in your right gap.
Thanks, Coach. Best of luck. The 112th meeting between Union and Rochester coming up. Thanks, as always, to Union head coach Jeff Behrman for joining us in the pregame. You heard it there. Coming off the bye for the Dutchman, biggest keys were get healthy and get ahead academically. So Union getting ready for the final 4 games of the season that start this afternoon. The Dutchmen are 5-1, 2-0 in the Liberty League, and they'll receive to start this game. And we also heard Coach talk about Daniel Papantonis, and we'll talk about him quite a good deal, I would imagine. The junior running back for the Yellow Jackets leads the country with 1,034 yards through 6 games, 8 touchdowns. He's averaging 172 yards a game, and he's had 100 yards in all but 2 games, so 4 of the 6 games. But it'll be Union's offense to start this afternoon. Is kicking it away is Jordan Lodunny, and bringing it out was 32. That's Jonathan Anderson, I believe. That's Anderson out close to the 30-yard line, and that's where we'll start this afternoon's game. Again, beautiful forecast. Sunny, not a cloud in the sky here at Frank Bailey Field. We're glad you could join us if you couldn't make it here to this afternoon's game. Again, Liberty League matchup between Union and Rochester, and you heard it, the 112th meeting. Union leads the all-time series 58-48-5 ties. The first meeting, Connor, back in 1889. Union has won the last 5 meetings between these schools. Shotgun snap for Donovan Paquetti, who gives it to I.K. Iribor out to the 30-yard line. Paquetti back in the lineup 2 weeks ago against St. Lawrence, and a couple of Union players looked like they were kind of slow to get up on that offensive line, which isn't a great sign on the first play, which is an Iribor run for 4 yards.
Yeah, seeing Iribor get some early carries. Union's going to be relying on the run a lot today. 2 weeks ago, they relied on the run a lot, got 4 touchdowns for Michael Fiore. We'll see both him and Iribor today put in a lot of work running it.
Fiore scoring 4 touchdowns, the most for a Union College player rushing the football since 2008 with Chris Coney. This second down pass is completed to Nicholas Dunneman, and Dunneman out to the close to the 35-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd down and short for this Union offense. And coming off the field is big left tackle Tim Driscoll, who was banged up on that first play, kind of slow to get up. He comes out here on 3rd down and 2 from the 34. Yeah. So a short Iribor run and then a pass to Dunneman.
Yeah, Driscoll had a great block on that Dunneman catch to get him those 5 yards. See what's wrong with him here.
Looks like he's kind of just stretching it out. 3rd and short here for the Union offense, and it's IK Irabor, and Irabor has the first down and a lot more as he's out to the 44-yard line, the talented fifth-year running back. 17 career 100-yard rushing games for IK Irabor. What can you say? He's 4th all-time in school history in rushing and tied for 2nd all-time in rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, he's really methodical. You can see there he sits for a second, sees that hole, and then he just has immense speed to get into the secondary.
Tim Driscoll back out onto the field for the Union offense at left tackle. Here's Irabor running again, this time running right, and he gets out close to midfield on first down. We'll give you the Union starters here offensively. Up front on the offensive line, it is Tim Driscoll, a senior preseason All-American. Matt McCorkle, the left guard. Nick Olivola, the freshman center. Kevin Dewing and Stan Koss, a co-captain on the right side of the line. Garrett Cafaro, a junior tight end. And then the special team, or the skills position, is Paquetti is sacked on second down. Breaking through is sophomore J.T. Monahan. And Monahan takes down Paquetti behind the line, well behind the initial line of scrimmage, all the way back at the Union 41.
Yeah, definitely a miscommunication on the left side of the Union O-line there. You can see them talking to each other. Just someone was supposed to get him and someone didn't. But great job by Paquetti. Saw the pressure and just tucked that ball so that he wouldn't fumble there. Lost a few yards, but the Union offense is still alive and well.
It's going to be 3rd and 13. Some of the other starters up front as the receivers out there right now. Dunneman was out there with a catch. Ross Jr. and Tolbert to the near side here on this 3rd and long. Paquetti completes it to Ross Jr., and Ross Jr. is at midfield, but it's going to be short of the first down. And so Union is going to bring out the punt team here on 4th and 4, or 4th and 5 from the 49.
Yeah, Paquetti was looking in the middle on that play. It was great coverage by Rochester. Nobody was open in the middle. Hit his check down route. Got a few yards. Gives the Union the ability to try to pin him here with this punt.
So Andrew Lau, the junior from Westport, Connecticut, out to punt the football away. Averages 40 yards a punt. This one an end-over-end punt, kind of a line drive. Hauled in at the 15. And stepping out of bounds, a flag also flies as Trey Johnson gets out over the 20, but I have a feeling this flag is going to back the Rochester drive up after the punt from Andrew Lau.
Definitely. You see a flag on a punt like that almost always against the return team there.
So Union with a couple of first downs on its first offensive possession. Penalty is on Rochester. It's going to back them up. So they got out to the 19, it looks like. And this is going to back them up. So the Rochester offense is going to have not great field position. It's going to be inside the 10 for the Yellow Jackets offense. Again, the Yellow Jackets coached by Chad Martinovich. And the story for Rochester has been the running game. Over 230 yards a game rushing the football, led by junior Daniel Papantonis, who leads the country with 1,034 yards. And shocker, he gets the carry here on first down. That's Papantonis. Actually, it wasn't Papantonis. That was Will Varney. Varney has been injured the last couple of games. Number 2. Has 262 yards on the season. Coach Martinovich was hoping Will would be ready to play, and he's actually out there to start this game. Number 2, not number 1, Papantonis. Varney does have 262 yards rushing in 4 games this season. The quarterback is sophomore Ryan Rose from Snellville, Georgia. His first throw is to the near side here. It's caught by Trey Johnson, and Johnson, who has a team-high 16 receptions now, gets out to the 15. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5.
Yeah, good quick route by Johnson there. Just need to get a few yards, get your offense kick-started. See if you can put yourself in a good position now to get a first down. Only need 5 yards.
So 3rd and 5 here The Union defense trying to get off the field and get its offense back in good field position. Rochester has just the one receiver to the far side. They put a tight end, Jackson Kane, in motion. They're going to hand the football off. It is Varney, and Varney's going to be short of the line to gain, so it's going to bring up 4th down. And Rose is motioning that. Well, I think Rose is motioning. I think he was motioning to. I thought initially he was motioning we should go for it, but I think he's motioning 1st down, but they're short of the line.
Yeah, I don't know if they're trying to argue the spot, but where the ball was spotted, it was well short of that 1st down marker.
They had to get close to the 20-yard line. It's at about the 18.5, if you will. So they'll bring out punter Alex Wing, who averages 38 yards a punt. 2 Union players back. It's Kevin Raybacks who makes the fair catch call at midfield. So back-to-back punts to open this game, 8:59 to go in the first quarter. Union will get the ball on its second drive at the 49-yard line. So Union gets a couple of first downs. They punt it down. Rochester goes 3 and out. We didn't see Papantonis. We saw a couple of runs with Will Varney. And now Union will have good field position here on its second drive.
Yeah, starting off pretty much where they drove to and punted from, so no progress really lost caused by that great Union defense and the stop there.
Donovan Piketty, the senior from Cobleskill, New York, fakes the handoff to Fiore, now completes the pass to Nicholas Dunneman, and Dunneman's second catch already in this first quarter, and that's good for a 1st down to the Rochester side of the field. 11-yard pickup, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Dutchman.
Dunneman gets a little move there, avoids the tackle, still goes down, but it gave him the space to be able to dive forward and get that 1st down.
Dunneman has had an excellent freshman season, came in 22 receptions, 4 receiving touchdowns. This is a running play and not much ground gained by Michael Fiore. And we talked about Fiore, Connor, 4 rushing touchdowns 2 weeks ago, 126 yards against St. Lawrence, the most touchdowns since Chris Coney back in 2008 against Rochester had 4 rushing touchdowns. That's a big number, 4 rushing touchdowns.
That's a lot of touchdowns.
So Fiore having the biggest game of his career. He has 6 rushing touchdowns this season, had 3 last year. The junior from Stony Brook, New York, having a big game. He gets the handoff here again. Flag flies on the near side as Fiore gets to the 35. The flag was thrown very early, so that makes me think it was a procedure call, or either that or an offsides call.
It's coming from the outside. It's a little bit of a weird place.
Unless somebody was lined up incorrectly.
Yeah, maybe one of the wide receivers. That's the first thought.
Piketty motions Rochester. Nope, maybe not.
Yeah, it looks like one of the receivers on the left side false started. Hard to get away with that when you're right in front of the ref.
And as a coach, that's a killer too, because you're running the football. Why are the receivers jumping off sides when it's a run play? If you that's a hard argument to win if you're one of those receivers who jumps off sides.
Definitely better off just not arguing, just taking the yelling at that point.
So that backs Union up to the 43 of Rochester. Piketty in the pistol. He's going to hand to Fiore. Fiore, a big hole, and he gets all of those yards back. Goes inside the 35, close to the 30. Almost got a 1st down as Fiore with a burst of speed and not a big hole, but he hit it and got all the way down close to the 32-yard line.
Yeah, great zone blocking scheme there by the Union O-line. And just push everybody to the left. Allowed Fiore to gain some speed before he hits that line, and he just goes through the hole at full speed and doesn't stop for anybody.
3rd down and 2 for the Dutchman here. Their second drive, if you're joining us a little bit late. And this is Anderson, and he's got nowhere to go, as breaking through the line was Bradley Beckwith. And Coach Martinovich had a lot of good things to say about the senior from Oxford, New York. Says that really our up-front defense starts with him, number 99. Big guy, 6'2", 285. and he hit Anderson in the backfield. It's going to bring up 4th down. Union's keeping the offense out on the field.
Yeah, the right guard pulled there, and the center wasn't able to make the block, and Beckworth, some surprising speed for a guy who's 285 pounds, is able to come across the offensive line and make that play in the backfield.
So 4th down and 6. Piketty fakes the handoff complete to Dunneman. Dunneman has the 1st down and more. Cuts inside, and he goes inside the 20 where he's tackled down there, but a nice play there. Good design as Piketty got it in Dunneman's hands. He didn't have the 1st down until where he caught it, but he was able to run for the 1st down, and now Union's going to hurry up on offense. So they get the 4th down. They hurry right to the line. They're going to snap it and run it with Anderson. Anderson running right. Now cutting back to the left, and he gets to the 15. Maybe a run of 3. But a big play on that 4th down, Connor, to keep the drive alive.
Yeah, that play couldn't have gone better for Union. It's exactly what you want. It looks dangerous for a second with those D linemen from Rochester bearing down on Piketty, but that's exactly what you want. You just dump it over their heads. Then you have Dunneman, who has more blockers than there is guys to tackle him.
So Union on the march here on the Dutchman's 2nd drive of this afternoon's game. A little more than 5 minutes to go in this 1st quarter. Pass complete to Tolbert. Tolbert's got some lanes. Got away from a tackler and gets all the way down to the 5-yard line. It's going to be 1st down and goal for the Dutchman. We'll quickly give you the defensive starters for Rochester. JT Monahan, who already has a sack, and Bradley Beckwith up front with Andy Christian, Braden Bush. Linebackers are Keaton Snow, Caden Cole, a 5th-year guy, the leader of this defense, and Happy Chain. Judah Thomas, Jack Yensel, Simon Weiren, and Jordy Tawa in the secondary for Rochester. All 4 of those guys have 2 interceptions on the season. Piketty under center, hands to Anderson. Anderson running right, and he goes close to the end zone. There is a flag down, though. He got down to the 1, but I have a feeling this is going to be coming back. Heard it up here. Holding on the center, freshman Nick Olivola, New Jersey native. The Union's offensive line, you can't say enough good things about what they've done. 257 yards per game average rushing the football, and it's been mainly the 3-headed attack of I.K. Iribor, Michael Fiore, and Jonathan Anderson. Joseph Ferreira has also been out there a little bit this season, but it was Anderson on that gain who got all the way down to the 1, but it comes back with a holding call, and now I.K. Iribor out there along with Ferreira on 1st and goal from the 14 or so. Piketty takes the snap, hands to, fake the handoff to Iribor, and now Piketty kind of scrambled for his life, and he's tackled by 4 Rochester defenders. Not sure that is exactly how it was designed, as it looked like Iribor may have had a hole and Piketty kind of kept it. And that's one of the things with the run-pass option or, option-style attack is that, sometimes you're going to make the wrong decision.
Yeah, the option-style attack's very dangerous, especially with this Union offense because you have so many playmakers. I mean, you have 2 running backs there who are phenomenal at running the ball, and Piketty, big guy, phenomenal at running the ball. But you're not going to make the right decision every single time, so that happens every once in a while.
So the Union going backwards here. 2nd and goal. Piketty going to look to the end zone. He had Ross Jr. and just a little bit too far of the outstretched hands of Andre Ross Jr. Well, I tell you, Union has done that a number of times this season, and why not with Ross Jr.? He has put his name into the Union record books. Nobody has more receiving touchdowns than Andre Ross Jr. 38 career receiving touchdowns, and a lot of them have looked like that, although the ball was just a tad overthrown by Piketty.
Yeah, it's odd to see them miss those. They hit those almost every time.
3 receivers to the far side now on 3rd and goal. They're going to pitch it to Iribor. Iribor had some room, but now gets closed up and held well short of the end zone, obviously. Got close to maybe the 10. And now Andrew Lau is going to come into for a field goal. So interesting play call there, Connor. It looked like Union maybe was just trying to catch Rochester off guard, but also maybe content with settling for a field goal opportunity.
Yeah, it's a tough play call when you see it happen like that where a lot of guys between him and the end zone, but you get the ball in Irabor's hands, you never know what's going to happen. Sometimes it's your best opportunity to get a touchdown.
So Andrew Lau out there, he's 3 for 4 on field goals this season, and this one is up, and it is good. So I think that was officially a 28-yard field goal from Andrew Lau. And with 2:54 to go here in the first quarter, it's Union 3, Rochester nothing. You are watching Union College football on unionathletics.com. Union fans, visit Katie O'Byrne's Irish Pub in downtown Schenectady. Open for lunch and dinner before or after Union games. It's the place to watch college football and hockey, pro football with friends and family. That's Katie O'Byrne's Irish Pub in downtown Schenectady. Proud supporter of Union College and Union College athletics. So Union's had 2 drives. They cash in on that one with a 28-yard field goal from Andrew Lau. They make it 3-0. Rochester's only drive, they went 3 and out. And we also didn't see the country's leading rusher in Daniel Papantonis. We saw 2 runs from Will Varney, who I know Coach Martinovich was hoping to have back, but I don't think he was hoping that he would carry the load here in this game. So we'll have to keep an eye out for Papantonis on this second drive as Lau kicks it away. Caught at about the 10-yard line by Trey Johnson, and Johnson is hit hard. He gets out close to the 30, and that's where Rochester will start its second drive of this afternoon's game.
Yeah, still looks like we got no Papantonis coming out right now.
I'm going to look for him over there on the sidelines.
Yeah, I have been. I don't see him so far.
Again, the nation's leading rusher, 1,034 yards, 8 touchdowns. Just a junior, was second-team Liberty League last season. Started the season off with 309 yards rushing against Utica.
That always helps to up your average when you get 300 yards in one game.
17.2 average per carry in that game. This time they're going to throw. Rochester, they got a man open. It's tapped up in the air, and it's intercepted. It looked like maybe they had a man down the field in Trey Johnson, but a good job by Davon Clements to tip the ball up into the air, and then as Azari Lewis gets the interception, and Rochester doesn't throw the ball that successfully, and Union gets a pick, an interception there for Azari Lewis, his first of the season for the sophomore from New Jersey.
Davion Clements there. I mean, there's no question he definitely got beat, but also he does a great job, exactly what you're supposed to do when you get beat. You just turn and you run. You run as fast as you can towards that guy. You don't look for the ball. And there on that play, he runs way faster, and he gets there, and he makes the play despite getting beat earlier in the play.
So the interception from Lewis sets the Union offense up 1st and 10 at the Dutchman 41, and running this time is Joseph Ferreira. Ferreira gets out to the 45. Robbie Tolbert shaken up, coming off the field on that play. And of course, one of the receivers blocking down the field, kind of looking at his left leg, it looked like, as he comes off the field. So Ferreira gets a running attempt. He's still out there on 2nd and 6. And Union SID Steve Sheridan saying that Papantonis was hurt late in that Buff State game last week, was questionable all week, so we haven't seen him out there yet. And I don't see him on that far sideline. This is a pass completed to Nicholas Dunneman, and Dunneman makes a couple of moves, gets close to the first down marker, but he's going to be a little bit short. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 2 from the Union 49.
Yeah, it's interesting to see if Rochester will stick with the run like they normally do now that Papantonis is hurt, or if they'll try their hand in the passing game a little bit, especially being down right now.
Union gets to the line quickly on 3rd and short, and they get the first down as it's Joseph Ferreira. Ferreira, the senior from Rocky Hill, Connecticut, gets the first down. He's out there on this drive, and we've talked to Union head coach Jeff Behrman. He feels confident in all 4 of these running backs, Ferreira, Jonathan Anderson, Michael Fiore, and I.K. Irabor. Faking the handoff is Piketty. Has some time in the pocket. Now he's scrambling to his right. He throws it down, and he's got Dunneman. Dunneman with a nice job to get all the way inside the 25. And we got another Union player shaken up, as that was a terrific throw. Piketty kind of turning nothing into something as it goes all the way down to the 24-yard line, and we've got a Union offensive lineman down on the play right around midfield.
Yeah, Nick Olivola definitely got shaken up.
That's the freshman center from Little Falls, New Jersey, as the trainer, Shell Rockwood, is taking a look at him. But so far in this first quarter, Connor, Nicholas Dunneman has had a big impact on this game in the receiving game.
Yeah, they love him. Union loves these bubble screens that they run. It's perfect for their style of offense. Just get the ball in the hands of your playmakers, get them a few blockers, and let them do what they have to do. And it works out great. There, Dunneman just runs a great scramble drill, comes back towards Piketty, then runs away, and is just perfectly open. It's a great pass by Piketty over a linebacker and below a safety.
So Olivola looks like he's favoring that right leg, but he is walking off the field with a little help from the trainer, Cheryl Rockwood. And as there was a break in the action there, backup center freshman Jacob Rubin from Hackettstown, New Jersey, was taking some shotgun snaps with Piketty. So number 70's right out there. He's going to be the new center, is Jacob Rubin, the first year. And they were practicing some of the shotgun snaps. That's, of course, you get pressed into service there. Got to make sure that center to quarterback exchange doesn't have any hitches in it. And now a whistle from the referees, and we got a delay of game.
Doesn't make a lot of sense coming off of a ref timeout, but
yeah, injury. You don't usually see that after an injured player. Usually they reset the clock.
Yeah.
But it's a 5-yard penalty. It'll be 1st and 15. Piketty takes the snap, gives it to Ferreira, and Ferreira is met right away by number 19, Jack Yensel. Came out of the secondary.
Rochester's getting pushed back a little bit on the defensive line right now, but they're doing a great job coming from around the ends and crashing down the side of the line to make these plays behind the line of scrimmage.
Well, this is a Rochester defense that's averaged allowing 29 points per game, but in their most recent win last week, they won 12-6. They only gave up 6 points to Buffalo State. Piketty, coverage breaking down, and he takes off and gets back to the initial line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they tried to run another screen there, but the pressure was just a little too much for Piketty to get the ball out.
And that's the final play of the first quarter. As the first quarter goes pretty quickly here. After 1 quarter of play, it is Union 3, Rochester 0 after 1 quarter of play here from Frank Bailey Field in Schenectady, New York. Union fans, Brown Coach is the official charter company and a proud supporter of Union College athletics. Call Brown Coach or Brown Travel for all of your charter and travel needs. That's Brown Coach, a proud supporter of Union College and Union College athletics. So 1 quarter in the books here. Andrew Santillo and Connor Collette on a beautiful afternoon here at Frank Bailey Field in Schenectady, New York in the Capital District. Again, supposed to get into the mid-60s, maybe close to 70 degrees here on a late October afternoon. Perfect football weather, although you know, Connor, it's been pretty cold the last couple of mornings here. It's been, it was in the 30s this morning.
Yeah, especially if you're waking up early, 8 a.m., definitely gets cold outside. Imagine these players are actually feeling pretty hot down on that field. You know it can be a lot hotter on turf, especially when it's so sunny out like today.
Yeah, not a cloud in the sky. You certainly don't at least prepare for mid-60s temperatures here in this part of the country in the second to last weekend of October. But I'm sure these players will take it because, again, it could be just as easily could have been, 30 degrees at game time and maybe raining or snowing. Shotgun snap to Piketty, who just got it away, gets it to Andre Ross Jr., and Ross Jr. inside the 20. And it's going to bring up 4th down and about 2 maybe. And let's see if Union hurries to the line here. It looks like they will as freshman tight end Kyle Webster comes out onto the field.
Beautiful play by Paquetti there. Had the pressure in his face against a 6-man blitz. Just a free guy, not blocked at all. He's able to compose himself and make that pass. Might not get the first down, but definitely saves a lot of yards and keeps them in field goal range and keeps them to have a try for this 4th down conversion.
Yeah, it's 4th down and about 3 or 4, and now Coach Behrman's going to take a timeout, I believe, as the play clock was winding down. Rochester sideline is clapping, and they're trying to keep their defense motivated here on what could be this 4th down. We'll see if Coach Behrman elects to go for it here or if he's going to kick the field goal. I think he is.
Yeah.
I think he took the timeout, and now Andrew Lau is going to come out as the special teams unit. Will come out onto the field for a field goal. So, again, give credit to this Rochester defense. They won the game last weekend 12-6. And so far they've held Union out of the scoreboard here, or out of the end zone here for the first quarter plus. So where Holder, Stratton, Sherman is setting up, this will be a 35-yard field goal from the left hash for Andrew Lau. Has a long of 36 this season. Lau's kick is up. It's got plenty of distance, and it is good. So Andrew Lau with another field goal, 2 field goals already in this game. Came into the game 3 of 4 on field goals. So 2 field goals from Andrew Lau in this first half, and with 14-13 to go before halftime, it is Union 6, Rochester nothing.
Yeah, interesting to see what Rochester's going to do here. Not feeling too much pressure, still is only a 1-score game, but without their number 1 running back so far.
And the number 1 running back in the country.
Yeah.
With 1,000 yards over 6 games.
We'll see if they just try to replace him with more running or if try their hand in the pass game.
Well, they've been using Will Varney, who I know Coach Chad Martinovich was hoping to have ready. He's missed a couple of games. But again, the real story is junior Daniel Papantonis, the Glen Gardner, New Jersey native, came into the game with 1,034 yards, has been over 100 yards in 4 of the team's 6 games, has not been out on the field yet, was questionable this week after getting injured last week against Buffalo State. As bringing the football out here is Aiden Papantonis. That's his younger brother of Daniel Papantonis, number 25. The freshman brings it out close to the 30-yard line, and then that's where Rochester will start its 3rd offensive drive here this afternoon.
Yeah, good return there. Not bad field position. Let's see what they try to do here.
It's still Varney, number 2.
Yeah.
So Varney out there. They've got 4 receivers, 3 to the far side for sophomore Ryan Rose. And Rose has thrown for 584 yards this season, but 2 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, and now 8 after one earlier this half, as that pass was looking for Trey Johnson. Rochester, yeah, they don't throw the ball, only 97 yards per game passing.
Yeah, it was a dangerous pass there to a tightly covered by Azari Lewis. Tried to put it only where his guy can catch it. Ended up going out of bounds, which is always better than an interception, but.
And Lewis has an interception already on the batted ball by Davon Clements. 2nd down. Rochester with 3 receivers to the far side. They're going to hand it off with Varney, and Varney gets a chunk of yards before he's tackled down by Nathan Sullivan.
Varney's a significantly bigger back than Papantonis. Might catch Union by a little surprise here. He's got about 30, 40 pounds on Papantonis, so a little bit different style of running.
3rd and short. They're going to run it with Varney, and Varney doesn't have a lot of room, but I think he got enough for the first down. And he did. I'll give you the starters here for Union defensively. Jack Flanagan, Dionis Polanco, and Ethan Vanderbrink. Vanderbrink had the tackle on that play. Liberty League All-Conference selection, Austin St. Pierre, who's a captain. Jaden Duncan, the junior, number 6, gets the start. And Cole Da Silva and Spencer Goldstein. Goldstein, the reigning 2 weeks ago Liberty League Defensive Player of the Week, and was featured recently in local publication Times Union Story. Hudson native, This is Jake Adelman running left. And Adelman gets a couple of yards. And then in the secondary, there's a flag down, I believe, on the play, although I don't see it. Oh, no, they're telling one of the players has to come out. Secondary for the Dutchman, Christian Mays, Nathan Sullivan, Davon Clements, and Azari Lewis. Lewis already has an interception in this first half. Those are your starters for the Dutchman. On defense, this is Rochester's third drive, but they haven't had much success. They got a first down here on this drive. It's 2nd and 8 from the 40. Rose fakes the handoff, spins to the left. He's going to tuck it and run, and he is going to run right into Spencer Goldstein, and a flag flies there.
2 flags, actually. It looked like different fouls, possibly. One
way
deep
down,
in the secondary, and one looks like a late hit on Union.
Yeah, and it was Goldstein, and Goldstein actually he actually hit the ground, and Rose stayed on his feet. I don't know if that was really a late hit. It certainly doesn't follow your traditional quarterback gets hit and knocked down and potentially injured, because the quarterback stayed up on his feet.
He definitely threw a shoulder, but I don't know if it was bad enough for a call.
So the referees are going to have to sort this out. As you said, Connor, 2 flags, one deep in the secondary, and then the other flag right where Rose went out of bounds.
Because the Union foul was a personal foul instead of regular, ends up being a first down. Really helpful for Rochester here. It would have been 3rd.
And it wasn't a late hit, actually. They called it on Lewis, I believe, which is weird because that's not where the flag came down. The flag came down right where Rose went out of bounds with Goldstein. So something happened.
I'm guessing they picked up that and called 2 fouls in the secondary with a little bit of retaliation off the block in the back, maybe?
So not a huge penalty as far as yardage goes, because it puts Rochester to the 48, but they get a fresh set of downs here. Rose fakes the handoff, now getting ready to throw. He doesn't have anything down the field, and he's going to be taken down as it's Jaden Duncan, the junior from New Jersey, his 2nd sack of the season.
Yeah, Rochester's strategy here seems to be kind of use the pass to catch Union defense by surprise, but it doesn't seem to be working too much. Not many guys open. At some point, quarterback Ryan Rose just has to cut his losses. Has a lot of time in the pocket, but time doesn't help you if there's nowhere to throw the ball.
So Duncan, the sack, pushes Rochester all the way back to the 39, and it's going to be 2nd and 19. Rose takes the shotgun snap out of the pistol and hands it to Varney, and Varney running right for not much room there as the Union defense holds up. This Rochester offensive line, Alec Berselli, Eddie Niles, Nick Anacino, Luke Wilson, and Mason Frank are up front. Their leading receiver is Trey Johnson. They also have a talented tight end and senior Ryan Pasquale, who's 82, out on the field right now. This is a big passing down here, Connor, as it's 3rd down and long. Rochester's got to get all the way to the Union 42-yard line. 3rd and 17.
Yeah, it's definitely a passing down, but you don't want to risk another interception here.
And Rose is going to hand it off, and this is going to be Adelman, the freshman from Natick, Massachusetts, who gets close to the original line of scrimmage, but it's going to bring up 4th down, and Rochester's going to bring out the punt team.
Adelman, not quite the most physically intimidating guy at only 5'6", 170. Yeah. But those are the guys in D3 football I almost fear more, because a lot of those guys, they have the skills, they have the quickness. It is to like play at the high level at D1, but you can't when you're that small. There's no option for you to play there.
Alex Wing's punt is a nice one. It's going to go all the way into the end zone, though.
A little too nice.
Yeah. Got a hold of that one, the sophomore from Illinois.
Yeah, almost it won't turn out to be that many yards, but punted at almost 55 yards there.
Yeah, the net. good punt away, but it'll come out of the end zone here, and that's where Union will start. To your point there, 5'6", 170. If you make it to Division III, I mean, it's hard to say, obviously, but when you're looking at metrics, I mean, if you were 6 feet 225, and you know what I mean, you'd maybe be playing Division I.
A lot of those guys with those skills, they're not big enough to be able to play at those big D1 schools.
So a couple of runs from Adelman. Again, if you joined us late, still no sign of junior Daniel Papantonis, the leading rusher in the country for Rochester, has been out of this game. As IK Iribor running right, and he is tackled down by 45, Nolan Ragland, up from the linebacker spot, hit Iribor pretty good, only a gain of about 1 or 2 for Iribor.
The Rochester defense right now, not necessarily dominating the defensive line, but they're doing such a good job tackling, which is really what Union thrives off of, is missed tackles, causing people to miss, and beating multiple guys with just their star players. Their tackling is what's keeping them in the game and stopping the Union rush right now.
Here's Iribor again, running right. Trying to get to the outside, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds. It looked like maybe a late flag was going to come in there, as it was 10, Dan Shaughnessy. If there's anybody who's Rochester knows to take away here, it's in this game, it's Iribor. IK Iribor in 3 games against Rochester, Connor, 345 yards and 7 touchdowns in 3 games against Rochester in his career.
Yeah, they got a little bit of PTSD over there.
I mean, his rushing games in the 3 games, 86, 84, and 175 yards against Rochester in his career. So the Yellow Jackets know about IK Iribor. This is 3rd and long. Paquette's going to throw it. He's got Dunneman for the first down. Spins out of a tackle and gets out to the 40-yard line before he's tackled by Judah Thomas. And on 3rd and long, Paquette connects with Dunneman, who's been his top receiver in this game. Dunneman has had a terrific freshman season.
Yeah, he's having another great day today. That's probably his 5th reception so far, with tons of yards to show from it.
And it gets out to the Union 40, 9 minutes to go in this first half. Stay with us at halftime. We've got an interview with 5th-year captain running back IK Iribor. We'll take a look at the first half statistics and some scores from around the Northeast and the Liberty League as we are heavy into league play here. Again, it's Paquette to Dunneman, and that pass looks pretty easy, but you get 5 yards on first down. That's where you want to be, Connor, 2nd and mid, if you will. And it was just a pretty easy pitch and catch from Paquette to Dunneman.
Yeah, if your receiver is able to get that kind of separation on a route like that, Paquette's just got to get the ball in there, and you get an easy 5 yards.
So this is an interesting formation here, as they've got 3 receivers and Iribor set up on the near side here. 4 receiving threats here to Paquette's near side on this 2nd and 5. Little bubble screen for Iribor, and Iribor leaps out of bounds. Well, they're going to give him not a great spot, as they say he stepped out of bounds before he jumped into the air, so it's going to be 3rd and 2.
Yeah, that packed bunch formation with those 4 receivers so tight together is really dangerous, because 1, you have to watch out for the screen like you did there, and 2, if all of those guys go out for a route, suddenly your DBs are confused which guys you get. Is he the inside guy, the outside guy? They're all crossing, setting picks for each other. Can really confuse defenses.
3rd down and 2 for Paquette. He's going to hand it to Iribor. Iribor running right. Not much room there, but he does get enough for the first down before he's tackled by J.T. Monahan. Well, I'll tell you, Rochester's making Union earn every yard here. 1st and 10 over on the Rochester side of the field. The Dutchman, if you joined us late, 2 field goals from Andrew Lau are all the points in this game as we're halfway through the 2nd quarter. Union has it 1st and 10 from the Rochester 49. Here's Paquette. They set up the screen, and he just threw it over the outstretched arms of IK Iribor. It'll be 2nd down.
Might have been lucky that he overthrew it there. There was Rochester DB whistling in there, ready to take off ahead of Iribor.
So this is Union's 4th drive. They've had 1 punt and the 2 field goals. They haven't had any of the big plays. And if you talk to head coach Chad Martinovich, he said stop the run, stop the big plays, and tackle well. So far, Rochester's 3 for 3, although Iribor breaks one here. Just as we say that, he gets all the way down to the 37, a pickup of 12.
Yeah, Iribor does a great job of, once he gets past that D-line, it's almost instantly he's past the linebackers and into the secondary. Still a great job of tackling by Rochester there. A lot of teams will let that into a touchdown run, as we've seen all season, that Iribor can do.
So they actually spot it down at the 36, so a pickup of 13 from Iribor. He goes out. Michael Fiore comes in. Not much of a drop-off, though, when you have Fiore, who ran for 4 touchdowns 2 weeks ago. He's in the pistol behind Piketty. Piketty fakes the handoff, running out of time. He lets go of it. Deep, looking for Ross Jr., and he's got it for the touchdown. Piketty to Ross Jr. for the touchdown. Dutchman.
Beautiful ball by Piketty while getting hit by 2 unblocked Rochester defenders. Rochester sends the house, and if you can't get there in time, that's bound to be what happens.
And Andre Ross Jr. sets another record here. Every time he catches a touchdown now, 39 receiving touchdowns in his career. 5th of the season for Andre Ross Jr. As Andrew Lau out for the extra point, the kick is up, and it is good. With 6:22 to go in the first half, it is Union 13, Rochester nothing. You are watching and listening to Union College Football on UnionAthletics.com. Boy, Connor, Piketty, his 9th passing touchdown of the season to Ross Jr. And Ross Jr. came into the game just 62 yards shy of 3,000 career receiving yards, and he's a little bit closer now after that long touchdown pass. He beat 2 defenders, and as you said, Piketty did a whale of a job just to get rid of the football, as he had 2 defenders coming right down on top of him, and he was able to get rid of the football, and Ross Jr. just a step ahead of both of the defensive backs for Rochester.
And the thing about Piketty is it looked like he was going to get killed there, guy full speed, unblocked, about to hit him, but he's just so big, guy hits him. It looks like the guy takes more damage than Piketty does.
And that's the first big play. We were just talking about Coach Chad Martinovich on the Rochester sideline, said we need to stop the big plays. Well, they get a 13-yard run from I.K. Iribor and then a 36-yard passing touchdown from Piketty to Andre Ross Jr. Here's a big play potentially for Rochester, as it's Trey Johnson who runs it all the way out to midfield down the far sideline. There's a flag down, though.
That's probably going to be against Rochester.
We'll see what the call is here, but Trey Johnson did a whale of a job to get all the way down, and they actually spot him back at the 49 of Rochester, so he must have stepped out of bounds. But there is a penalty marker down on the field, and if you're the receiving team, then you know where that is. It's coming back here.
Great job on that play by Andrew Lau, though, being able to force him out of bounds as a kicker.
And that is a big penalty, half the distance to the goal. So it's going to back Rochester all the way back up inside their 15-yard line, close to the 11. So what a change in field position. You go from midfield to basically almost your 10-yard line.
Yeah, 39-yard penalty there. It's not good, especially when you're trying to come back down 2 scores.
See what the Yellow Jackets here have on offense. Rose takes the snap, hands to Varney. Varney's got a big hole. Varney breaks it. 35-40 midfield. Now it's a foot chase. And a nice job by Nathan Sullivan to run him down here. But Varney had a hole, and once he got through the hole, nobody there as he breaks it all the way down inside the Union 30.
Just great blocking. A little bit like the Union offense there, just saw a hole and ran as fast as he could through it.
First and 10, the ball will be placed at the 32-yard line.
I think it's a 57-yard run for Will Varney down to the Union 32-yard line. It'll be first down and 10. And all of a sudden, Rochester's cooking here as they hand it off to Adelman. And Adelman nowhere to go there as he's tackled down by James Gillespie. Comes down out of the secondary to make the tackle.
Yeah, on that last play, Rochester definitely missed Papantonis a little bit, their smaller running back. Probably would have gotten that one all the way down for a touchdown versus 210-pound running backs, a little bit easier to chase down.
And again, if you joined us late, Daniel Papantonis has not been in this game. Was banged up at the end of last week's game, the victory against Buffalo State, but Will Varney has been carrying the load here for Rochester. Rose fakes the handoff, pass completed to the tight end. That is Ryan Pasquale, and he's got a first down close to the 20-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for Rochester. So the Yellow Jackets on the move here after the big run from Will Varney. Ball spotted at the 21-yard line. It's 1st down and 10 for Rochester.
It's the first time we've seen their offense really cooking. It can be impressive when they get going, especially now that they're showing a little bit of life in the pass game.
This time, nowhere to go for Varney, as into the backfield was Ethan Vanderbrink, the junior from Smithtown, Long Island.
Yeah, great job chasing down from the backside. That's what really makes plays, especially when you're going against a tight formation like that, when they got 7, 8 guys on the offensive line. They pull a few, you chase down from the backside. That's what Rochester's been doing all day, and it's been working. Now Union can do it too.
Under 4 minutes to go here in this first half. 13-0 Dutchman leading the Yellow Jackets, and Rochester is going to take a timeout here. Union fans, be sure to stop by the Center Street Public House and Garden, located at 308 Union Street in Schenectady, featuring TVs to watch all of your favorite teams, great food, and live entertainment. Center Street is a proud partner of Union College Athletics and Union College football. That's the Center Street Public House and Garden, located at 308 Union Street in Schenectady, proud supporter of Union College football. Connor, 13-0, under 4 minutes to go. 3 scores for Union, but 2 field goals and a touchdown. And again, this Union defense, they give up the big run from Varney, but they haven't given up much ever since that game against Utica. Only the 1 touchdown against St. Lawrence last weekend in the first half. Other than that, they've gone 9 quarters with just giving up the 1 touchdown. Now 10 quarters, although Rochester is driving down the field here with just the 1 touchdown allowed.
Yeah, this would be a big one to get before halftime, especially receiving the ball at half.
Yeah.
A chance to even take the lead or tie it.
See what happens here. It's 2nd and long after the negative run play. Rose fakes the handoff. He's going to throw it looking into the end zone, and it's thrown out of bounds as he was looking for Trey Johnson.
It's a good look there. He's just trying to put the ball where only Trey Johnson can take it, but goes a little too far outside and makes it uncatchable.
Christian Mays in coverage there, the senior from Westwood, New Jersey. 3rd down and long for Rochester. They do have a kicker in Jordan Lodani, who has kicked his 39-yard field goal.
This would be a little farther,
yeah,
at almost 40.
And I'm sure Coach Chad Martinovich knows that he needs touchdowns to try to stay in this game. They're going to hand it off with Varney. Varney running right. And Varney gets to the 20-yard line, and that makes me think that Rochester's going to go for it here on 4th down. As they got to the 20. And now it looks like decision time for Chad Martinovich. And maybe Martinovich is going to take a timeout here once the play clock runs down, as everyone's looking at the sideline trying to figure out what the play is. Chad Martinovich, again, came over to Rochester from MIT, coached there for 8 seasons. Took MIT to the NCAA tournament. This his 4th season, 5th year at Rochester, and he's going to take a timeout. 2:56 to go in the first half. Connor, looks like the field goal kicker's coming out here as that's 97, not your normal field goal kicker number, and Jordan Lodunny. What do you think about the call here if you're the head coach here? It's 4th and 9, so statistically not the easiest play to pick up here the first down, but you're down 13-0.
Yeah, I'm assuming his thought process was hopefully they would get a few more yards on that run, make it like 4th and 5, and then maybe go for it. But I think with it being almost 4th and 10, he ended up deciding to kick it. I think it's tough. I think you'll only have so many opportunities versus Union defense to be able to score a touchdown, and you got your big play. I think you need to go for your touchdown here when you can, especially with this momentum-changing play that can happen.
So this will be a 36-yard field goal from the right hash. The holder is punter Alex Wing, and the kicker is sophomore Jordan Lodunny. Lodunny's kick is up, and it's off the upright. No good. Off the left upright, which is still clanging back and forth. So Lodunny had the leg, but just off the left upright, and so Union keeps Rochester off the scoreboard.
Yeah, in hindsight now it seems like they should have gone for it, but
well, Lodunny 6 of 8 on field goals this year, and again as long as 39. Definitely had the leg.
Yeah, it was
not
beautiful kick, just a little bit off, overcompensated for being on that right hash a little too much.
So it's still 13-0 Union with 2:53 to go in the first half, and see if the Dutchman can add on here before halftime. Again, stay with us at halftime. We've got an interview with fifth-year running back, co-captain IK Irabor. We'll take a look at the first half statistics and take a look at scores from around the Northeast and around the Liberty League. Just one other game this afternoon. Ithaca and Buffalo State played last evening in Buffalo. Ithaca winning that game to improve to 7-0. Here's Jonathan Anderson running right. And Anderson out to the 27. Pickup of 7 on first down.
This is I would say this is the big make or break drive for probably the rest of the game. If Rochester can get a big stop here, they won't lose too much of the momentum they gained on that last drive despite the missed kick. But if Union scores a touchdown here, a lot of momentum going into halftime, almost seals away it partially.
Pachetti fakes the handoff, now completes the pass to Dunneman. Dunneman trying to make some moves, shifty. He's got the first down. And Dunneman has been such a weapon in that short passing game, and then his ability. He's only 5'10", 165 pounds from Montclair, New Jersey, but the ability for him to avoid the tackle and get yards after the catch has made him such a weapon for this Union offense. 1st and 10, ball at the Dutchman 34-yard line. Pachetti takes the snap, fakes the handoff. Now he's looking deep for Dunneman. Dunneman in double coverage, and it's knocked away there by Jordan Tawa, number 29, freshman from Oregon, knocks the ball away. They were looking deep for Dunneman.
Yeah, a little bit of a ill-advised pass there, but great coverage by Rochester being able to knock that down.
Well, I tell you, Pachetti's only taken, that was probably the second deep shot. He connected with Ross Jr., trying to almost do the same sort of thing with Dunneman to run behind the defense, but good job by the secondary for Rochester to stay in there and knock the ball away, as it was Tawa who did so. Quick fake of the handoff, pass complete on the far side. Now a first down midfield. Big pass play there, connecting with Avery Turton, the junior from White Plains, New York. And Turton gets onto the Rochester side of the field at the 46-yard line.
Yeah.
So many weapons for this Union offense.
Rochester's there, sends the house, only had 2 guys, 2 Union blockers versus 2 defenders. Makes it easy for Turton.
Anderson maybe had a hole, but he got tripped up. And timeout Union after just a 2-yard run from Anderson to the 44. Minute 18 to go in this first half. Union leading at 13-0. And we talked about it, Connor. Union had the bye. They've got 4 games left, and this is, obviously where everything's going to get sorted out. You've got Ithaca, who's undefeated, ranked in the top 15. RPI, who obviously it's always throw out the records. And then you've got a tough place to play next week against Hobart. So this is where it's going to be decided for this Union team. Trying to get back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 2019. Obviously no season in 2020, and then RPI represented the league last season. So Union at 5-1 with the 4 biggest games ahead of them, including this game this afternoon against Rochester. It's going to all start sorting itself out, though, next week. Again, Ithaca won last night against Buffalo State. They're 7-0. They'll host RPI next week as Union will go to Hobart. Then the week after that, Ithaca comes here to Frank Bailey Field. And then, of course, Union ends the season in the rivalry game against RPI in the Dutchman Shoes matchup. So huge games throughout the rest of this season for Union as they try to get back on top of the Liberty League and try to return to the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, Union was definitely thinking about that a lot during the bye, but you can't overlook games like this. They're must-wins.
Paquette's pass to the far side complete with Ross Jr., and Ross Jr. has a first down inside the 35. That'll stop the clock to move the chains. Now it restarts, a minute 13 to go.
Paquette really used the dominant frame of Ross Jr. there, threw it up where only he can catch it at 6'3". Really no chance there for Rochester.
Paquette back to pass, looking to the near side this time. He was looking for Dunneman, and he was too high. Trying to connect on the near sideline here with Dunneman. It'll bring up second down. 57 seconds to go before half. Obviously, the Dutchman would love to add on here to this 13-0 lead in the final minute of the first half. As you said earlier, Rochester will get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah.
Union got the ball to start this game.
Touchdown here for Union could be really another nail in the coffin to start off trying to end this game. Make it, if they go for 2, make it possibly 3 scores before half. Brings a lot of momentum going your way before halftime.
Pass to the near side, kind of a slant pass off the hands of Dunneman, and it'll bring up third down. That's a rare sight with Dunneman not being able to pull it in. Hit him in the hands. Fell to the floor, incomplete. Third down and 10 for the Dutchman at the Rochester 34.
Yeah, big third down here. Outside of field goal range, really. We'll see if they try to run the ball to get into range or if they try to go for the first down.
Yeah, from here it would be much too far, about a 51-yarder. They probably have to get another 10 to 15 yards just to attempt a field goal, but it's third down and 10. Faking the handoff to Anderson. Rochester coming in, and they're going to bring Paquette down as it's 55, J.T. Monahan, who gets in for his second sack of this first half. He leads the team in tackles for loss and sacks coming into the game. It's J.T. Monahan, the sophomore from Marblehead, Mass. So now it's fourth down. Now Union's got to go for it because it's back at the 37-yard line.
Union might just wait out the clock here. Leaves only about 5 seconds left after the play clock runs out. And they could maybe run a shot for the end zone. We'll see.
Clock ticking down. Play clock has 5 seconds. Game clock has 8. And you see head coach Jeff Behrman taking a timeout. There's 5 seconds left to go here in the first half, and I think you're exactly right, Connor. Take a shot at the end zone, but leave no time here for Rochester. Although, if you get a first down, you don't have any more time, so I guess you're going to just take a shot into the end zone here with the receivers, have Paquette just kind of launch it in there. Although, if you're on the other side of the field, Rochester, you know, okay, all we have to do is defend the end zone here because any pass in or out of play, barring a defensive penalty, this will be the final play of the first half.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised to see, instead of maybe a shot to the end zone, Union run a screen play here that they love so much, try to catch Rochester off guard.
Union fans can count on Nico's for great pizza and wings. Visit Nico's or call for delivery, serving lunch, dinner, and open for late night. Nico's Pizzeria and Rooftop Tavern is located on State Street in the heart of downtown Schenectady. That's Nico's Pizzeria and Rooftop Tavern, a proud supporter of Union College athletics, and Union College football. So it's 4th down and 13. But this most likely will be the final play of the first half, as there's only 5 seconds left, and now I think Rochester's going to take a timeout. So the cat and mouse game begins here. Coach Chad Martinovich waits to see how Union comes out with the personnel, and now he'll take a timeout and talk it over with his defense, who's done a nice job here in this first half. The Yellow Jackets, we talked about, they came in winning a 12-6 game last week against Buffalo State. Union didn't have a game last week. But Rochester's defense, allowing 29 points per game. We talked to Coach Martinovich. He said the key is stopping the run, stop the big plays, and tackle well. I'd say, he's probably 2 for 3 here at halftime. They've done a nice job stopping the run, and they've tackled pretty well. They just gave up the one long touchdown pass from Donovan Paquetti to Andre Ross Jr., and that's the only touchdown so far in this first half.
Rochester's been able to get they've let up a few 5-yard runs here and there, but they've been able to get a lot of tackles behind the line of scrimmage, a sack, really been helping them kill some of these Union offensive drives by making them lose yards. Along with the Union losing yards from penalty, that's what's killed many of their drives and led to them kicking 2 field goals.
So you've got 3 receivers here on the near side. It is Turton, Ross Jr., and Dunneman. Paquetti takes the snap. Rochester only rushing 4. Paquetti's going to throw it up for the end zone. It's batted up into the air, and it falls incomplete. I think that was strange because I think the Rochester guy tried to knock it down, but then it went up into the air.
He almost knocked it down, brought it, and then threw it up behind his back. Could have been dangerous if Donovan could have gotten there, but luckily it falls down for Rochester.
So it's incomplete. That was a 4th down play, but it's the final play of this first half. And with 1 half in the books here at Frank Bailey Field under sunny skies here, the Union fans are feeling good. It's 13-0 Dutchman leading Rochester at halftime here from Frank Bailey Field in Schenectady, New York. So we will take a break. We have an interview coming up with 5th-year co-captain running back I.K. Irabor. You'll hear from him. Then we'll take a look at first half statistics, and we'll take a look at some scores from around the Liberty League and around the Northeast here on this game day at Frank Bailey Field. You are watching and listening to Union College Football on UnionAthletics.com. It is halftime of Union College's football game against the University of Rochester, and we are joined by 5th-year captain running back I.K. Irabor. I.K., appreciate the time. Thank you for setting some time aside for us. Just talk about this season for you. I mean, you guys are 5-1. 2-0 in the Liberty League. How do you think that this season has gone so far, and how do you think that you've performed out there on the field?
I think that the season has gone pretty well so far. 5-1 is no easy, like tactics to just brush by. Being 5-1 is a great position we're in, and we're doing, as a team, we're doing really well, I feel like. And also, me personally, I think I'm doing everything I can right now, so I'm doing good, I feel like.
Just talk about coming back for a 5th year. What went into that decision for you? Obviously you're eligible for that because there was no 2020 season due to the pandemic. So what went into kind of your thought process about coming back for this your fifth year at Union?
Me personally, it was the relationships that I made here, with the coaches, with my teammates, that bond. I felt like I couldn't just let go, especially the way the season ended last year. It was my thought process was, I'm gonna come back, and I'm gonna see it through, try and win out, do our best to go as far as we can.
Being joined by fifth-year running back, Captain I.K. Earbor. You mentioned, the team and I know a lot of guys refer to it as a family. What does it mean for you yourself to be, or what does it mean to you to be named a captain for a second straight season for the football team?
It means a lot to me. Like, it just shows that the guys trust me. They respect me. They believe that, like, I'm able to help lead this team to where we got to go. So it means a lot to me is that they put their trust in me and the other four guys on as our captains.
What about running, the football? I mean, this is a good offense. I know Coach Behrman likes to be balanced. But running the football, I mean, right now you guys are averaging over 250 yards a game rushing the football. And I know there's some other guys, Michael Fiore, Jonathan Anderson, Joseph Ferreira, some other guys who are capable. What does it mean to be a running back in this system, especially with the offensive line that you've had up front? A lot of guys who have been there for a handful of years and you know pretty well.
Yeah. Running back in this offense, I feel like, is really, really important because we need to be able to do a lot of things. Got to be able to block, got to be able to run the ball, and if need be, we need to be able to catch out the backfield. So running the ball, like playing running back at Union College, is really, really important position. So like we need to do a good amount of things and know a lot of things as well.
Being joined by fifth-year captain, running back I.K. Earbor. I.K., most recent game in the victory against Buffalo State. St. Lawrence. You had another nice game. You've had some big games against Rochester. 17 career 100-yard games for you. What does that mean? 100 yards is always the benchmark, it seems, for running backs and receivers. What does that mean when you hear me say that you've had 17 career 100-yard rushing games?
It's actually very surprising. I never really counted it out or thought about it too much. I didn't realize I had that many yards rushing, 100 yards per game, 17 consecutive times. That's outstanding to hear. I'm generally appalled.
And then also career-wise, I mean, I know this is something that you'll probably look back on, but you're fourth all-time in school history in career rushing yards with over 3,300 rushing yards and tied for second currently, and potentially even a second place by yourself here as we're interviewing you at halftime here, with 45 career rushing touchdowns. I mean, what do those numbers mean, or are those accomplishments that you think you'll look back on? Because you're going to be in the record books here. Your name will be, and I know it means more than just you. It's the team and the offensive line. But what does that mean to you to know that 10, 15 years from now, your name's still going to be in the Union College record books?
To me, it just reminds me that I'm running behind a great offensive line. Like those touchdowns, yes, I'm the one that's running in the end zone, but that offensive line is one that paves the way for me. So I'm looking back on it, I'm gonna remember how good my offensive line was, how tough they were, how trusting they were of each other, and how they gave me the ability to trust them throughout any situation that we're put in. So I'll be looking back at that and be like, I had some good offensive linemen.
You mentioned the team and that sort of thing. What did it, and kind of how the season ended last year, coming into this season, what were the goals and what are the goals? I know Coach says 1-0 every week, that I know is the goal, but what was the goal for you and, for this team this season coming in, with some pretty good expectations? So
I want to say with what my coach said, 1-0 is always our goal. But also, going into the season this year, my goal was to have our team meet the expectation that we set. We set to be the best players we can be throughout the season. So we want to be able to every week improve on whatever we did last week. We look at that and then take the mistakes, do better from that, and proceed to the next week. That's our goal every week. That's our goal through the season, just to be better throughout.
Being joined by fifth-year running back Captain I.K. Earbor. I.K., I know from talking to you last year and from talking to you in the past, you didn't start playing football till your freshman year in high school. What have you? I guess, still relatively sort of new to the game. Most guys, most players are, picking it up much younger. How would you kind of, characterize your maybe love for the game? How has it changed, or, how you've grown to appreciate the game, or how you've seen your particular game, your individual game, change over the years? I know you started as a kind of a defensive player and then switched to running back. So how would you kind of assess your game over the last, 8-9 years of playing football?
I would say my game has definitely improved in the sense that I've been put in different positions to see if I can help the team, and every time I'm put there, I'm able to produce in a way that the team benefits. So throughout my 8 to 9 years of playing football, I've grown to love it more than before, not playing, because now I'm a part of the sports scene, where I can go with this and how well I'm producing in the position I play. I've grown to love this sport a lot more.
And with that being said, I know we're into your fifth year. What do you, and I know there's games left, and obviously there's time left, but what do you see yourself doing here down the road once you've graduated from Union? What do you aspire to be in terms of career, or what are your hopes and goals kind of as you move on to your next to the next chapter of your life?
So a goal that I have, hopes and dreams for this, is I want to play at the next level. So after the season, I'll probably continue to train, work out, and see where that takes me. See if I get to the next level with that.
And then the only other question I have, IK, and this is kind of what we've been doing this season, is allowing the guys to kind of have some shout outs. We know I'm sure you got friends and family in attendance this afternoon, but shout outs to friends, family, coaches, anybody that you can think of that kind of you want to just say hello to, that sort of thing.
I want to shout out to my mom and my dad. They've helped me out through all this whole process and everything. They've believed in me. They've had faith in me. And I want to thank my older brother, Bright, and on the rest of my family members, just to put it out there. But yeah, shout them out. Thank you for always being there for me.
That is fifth-year captain, running back IK Irabor, who continues to reset and set his name in the Union College football record books. And we will be right back. It's halftime. Union College hosting the University of Rochester here in a Liberty League matchup. Second half action coming up right after this. Back here in the broadcast booth. Thank you again to IK Irabor for joining us at halftime. It is 13-0 Union as we're about 10 minutes from the start of the second half. We'll take a look at some of the first half statistics from the first half.
Yeah, as we can see, it's only 13-0 right now, but Union is destroying in the offensive stats. 13 first downs to Rochester's 4, 247 yards to under 100 yards for Rochester. It's really being fueled now by most impressive stats are by Nicholas Dunneman, with 11 targets, 8 of them receptions, and 97 yards so far. Really a big day for him. We've seen him have some big days already as a freshman, but another one coming here today. The surprising thing for the Union offense right now is they only have about 59 yards rushing. Normally we've seen them a dominant rushing team, 4 rushing touchdowns in the last game they played, and normally their 3 or 4 headed running back attack normally takes dominance, but only 59 yards rushing today compared to 188 yards passing. A great day by Donovan Piketty, 15 of 21 so far, already 188 yards and a touchdown. Really good day for him, besides only 2 sacks so far, which is uncharacteristic for the Union offensive line, but they've been doing a lot more passing today than they normally do, so that leads to that. For Rochester, it's been a tough day. They've only really been able to rush the ball. I think they have 1 completed pass to a tight end for 18 yards. Besides that, they have 79 yards rushing on 13 attempts, which isn't terrible as far as average goes, but they just haven't gotten multiple attempts at running the ball. They haven't gotten a ton of plays has led to, with only 4 first downs, doesn't give them tons of attempts to make big plays and get the ball.
And then over on the Rochester side,
Rochester with they only got 79 yards rushing so far, 18 yards passing. They got one big rushing play. That's been the majority of their offense so far. Only four first downs. Nothing too impressive. They are punting pretty well with an average of 43 yards so far. But time of possession, Union has 20 minutes of possession compared to Rochester's 10. And then they only got one. Then Rochester only has 1 third down conversion compared to 4 for Union. I mean, the stats pretty much show the score. Rochester should be down by more, but they've been able to stop Union inside of the red zone, which makes the score a lot better than the stats show it as.
Yeah, the big news, again, if you joined us late in the first half or if you're just joining us now at halftime, is the absence of the NCAA's leading rusher, junior Daniel Papantonis. Has not played in this game, leads the country with 1,034 yards through his 6 games, 8 rushing touchdowns. He's averaged 23 carries a game. He has not been out there. He got injured at the end of the Buffalo State game and has not been out on the field. And in his absence, Will Varney has led the way. You mentioned the one big play, 61-yard run from Varney. He's got 79 yards in the first half. The 3 scoring plays, one in the first quarter, an Andrew Lau field goal made it 3-0, a 28-yarder. In the second half, I think the second play of the second half, Andrew Lau connected on a 35-yard field goal that made it 6-0. And then with 6:22 to go in the second, Donovan Paquetti connected with Andre Ross Jr. on a 36-yard pass touchdown that made it 13-0. Andrew Lau kicked the extra point. So those are your 3 scores in this game. So Rochester's still in it. You know, even though you said, I mean, they only have 97 yards in the first half. They're playing without their best player, the country's leading rusher. And their defense has really kept them in this. Union's got 3 scores, 2 field goals, and a touchdown. Obviously, if it was 2 touchdowns and a field goal or 3 touchdowns, you know, it might be out of reach at this point. But to hold Union's offense, which averages 42 points per game, to 13 in the first half has got to be considered a win for Rochester head coach Chad Martinovich.
Definitely. I think we'll see Rochester only had 5 passing attempts in the first half. I think we'll see them come out definitely throwing a little more. They've had some struggles throw 1 interception already, but to come back, only a 2-score deficit, but Union's going to keep scoring, so they definitely have to work to come back, throw the ball a little more, and not rush as much, which is what they're used to now that they don't have the NCAA leading rusher.
And Andre Ross Jr., kind of a, you know, as quiet of a first half as you can have for the guy who scores the only touchdown in the first half. 4 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown. Leaves him just 2 yards shy of 3,000 career receiving yards. His 4 catches have him up to 162 catches, which is 3rd all-time in school history. His receiving yards are 3rd all-time in school history. Both of those are behind only Steve Angeletta and Justin Gallo. And then his touchdowns, 39 touchdowns, which are a program record, and he added that one, the 39th, in the first half. So you mentioned Dunneman. He was the favorite target of Paquetti. And then you've got a guy in Ross Jr. who, oh, by the way, is just 3rd all-time in receiving yards, 3rd all-time in receptions, and 1st all-time in receiving touchdowns. He's your second option in that first half for Donovan Paquetti.
Yeah, we even saw, a lot of carries given out for Union in the rushing game. That's normally their call sign, giving carries to everybody, and that's where they have a lot of success. Didn't quite have the rushing success against a stiff Rochester defense against the rush today, but still gave carries. 8 carries for Erebor, 3 carries for Anderson, 3 carries for Fior, 3 carries for Ferreira. Just spreading the ball everywhere. It's a 4-headed monster that is definitely hard to keep up with. Hard to keep track of all those players coming on and off the field, especially when they run the option. You got 2 of those players in the field at the same time. It can be very dangerous for opposing defenses.
So as we take a look at the scores around the Liberty League, last night there was a game in that number 12 Ithaca went on the road and defeated Buffalo State 51-10. So that game puts Ithaca at to 7-0, and they are, I guess Union is 2-0, undefeated in the league as well, but that puts Ithaca's nationally ranked in the top 15 and undefeated overall, so they are 7-0, and that's kind of who everybody is chasing, so to speak. Union obviously leading this game 13-0, and Hobart and St. Lawrence just got underway. That was a 1 o'clock kick, still scoreless up in Canton, according to the scores. So when you take a look at the scores, then when you look around the league, some other big games around the Northeast. A big game in Utica this afternoon. Trying to get a score there. I'm not sure when they kick off. When Utica University hosts Cortland, and that's a 1 o'clock kick as well. And Utica, obviously, Union fans maybe have an interest in that game. Cortland's ranked in the top 15. They're undefeated. Utica also undefeated, just outside the top 25, and they were the only team that's beat Union so far this season, and 5-1. And when you talk about all those teams, you talk about Buffalo State, or Rochester rather, they're 2-4. Their 4 losses have come to Utica, RPI, Ithaca, and Brockport. So they've lost to some pretty good teams, and their 2 victories have come against Alfred State and last weekend against Buffalo State. So, Rochester 2-4, 1-2 in the league under fifth-year head coach Chad Martinovich. So the defense has been excellent for Rochester in this first half, holding Union just to 2 field goals and a touchdown. And their offense, without its top playmaker, didn't score at all in that first half. So they're going to have to try to figure out a way to get on the scoreboard. Meanwhile, Union leading 13-0, but like you said, maybe it could be a lot more than that. Kind of stalled out down deep in the in Rochester territory, which led to 2 field goals and then the touchdown. So I'm sure head coach Jeff Behrman in the locker room had some things to go over with his team about, got to finish off. It's a defense. Union's defense has only given up 1 touchdown in the last 10 quarters since that Utica game. So Union's got to be feeling pretty good about itself, although 13-0, all you need one play go the opposite direction, and then all of a sudden it's a brand new ball game.
Especially after that second half comeback in that Utica game. It was a little 3 weeks ago now, but Union definitely isn't forgetting that one. Going to come out here firing. And so is Rochester. Definitely got hyped up a little bit during halftime. They're going to come out, both teams going to come out firing. It's like a new game. Always 0-0. Try to win the quarter.
And Rochester will get the football here to start the second half. We're glad you could join us again. A beautiful day here in the Capital District. Temperatures in the mid-60s. It was, I think, 57 at kickoff. But, again, this is about as warm as it gets in this. If you're not from this area, if not from the Capital District, it's about as warm as it gets in late October as we head towards Halloween and the holidays. Not going to have too many more days that are pushing 70. So great weather for the fans, certainly, and there's a good contingent of fans here filling the stands here at Frank Bailey Field. See Union College President David Harris making his way down there on the walking across looking for his seat, and a good amount of fans across the way as well as we get ready for the second half of this game. Again, Union leading at 13-0 over Rochester. Andrew Santillo and Connor Collette here in the broadcast booth with you. It'll be Rochester getting the football to start the second half.
Yeah, you definitely have to come out here and make a statement, especially because you're getting the ball. Score here. Suddenly it's a really close game.
And we kind of alluded to the standings, but just quickly, Ithaca, after the win last night, is 4-0 in the league, 7-0 overall. RPI is still undefeated in the league play, 3-0, 5-2. That's a big game next week, RPI at Ithaca. Union is 2-0, 5-1 overall. Rochester 1-2 in the league, 2-4 overall. Hobart 0-2, 3-3. St. Lawrence 0-2, 2-4 in the league, and Buffalo State still looking for its first victory of the season. Union kicks it off. It's going to bounce, take a Union hop into the end zone and out of bounds. And so Rochester will start 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line as Andrew Lau gets a nice hand for the kick that didn't go out of bounds. It went out of the end zone. which is a huge difference.
Yeah, definitely. It was a little close there. Had to make sure it didn't go on the wrong side of that pylon, but works out for Union.
So Rochester will bring its offense out onto the field. Average only 14 points per game. Didn't score any in that first half. Coming off of last weekend's victory against Buffalo State, they only scored 12. You don't really win many games when you only score 12 points. And it is Will Varney out there at running back. They have been without Daniel Papantonis. So Varney running left, picks up only a couple yards. Talk about this Rochester team. They got guys from all over the country, really. When you talk to head coach Chad Martinovich, he really says it's the academic profile of the school that draws guys to the University of Rochester. Oh, by the way, they've got a new head coach in the NFL, too, in Brian Dable, who's a class of 97, played for Rochester and is the head coach now of the New York Football Giants. Rose takes the snap, fakes the handoff, looking here to the near side. He's got Trey Johnson, and Johnson's going to be pushed out of bounds after a first down pickup out over the 35. Well, he get right to the 35, and that's where he had to get for the first down.
Good play there, but I got to say that is a difficult pass for a 7-yard gain. They must have thrown the ball a good 35 yards, leaves that ball hanging in the air for a lot of time just to get those 7 yards. It's impressive to be able to make that.
Coming to the near side. Again, to finish up on Brian Dable, he played two-year starter in the secondary for the University of Rochester, class of 1997. His best game, he had 3 interceptions in one game.
It's really good.
This is Varney running. He only gets a couple of yards out to the 37. So in that game, I jotted it down. So he was named head coach of the Giants on January 28th of 2022. His best game, 3 interceptions. In the game on September the 9th, 1995, it was a 9-5 win over Case Western Reserve in Cleveland, so on the road. And his 3rd interception came in the end zone to seal the victory of a 9-5 win.
You don't see many 9-5 wins, even back then.
Yeah, 3 interceptions for Brian Dable. Pass to the near side, completed with Trey Johnson, and he's the guy who Rochester has been looking for. And Johnson motions. He's got a first down. He does have enough for a first down. 11-yard pickup to the 46.
Union's playing a little bit of off coverage right now. Ryan Rose is going to take advantage of that to keep throwing these short passes. They're allowing him to get first downs.
And Trey Johnson.
Ball plays at the 46-yard line.
Couple of catches already in the second half. Came into the game the team leader with 15 receptions through the first 6 games of the year. Rochester had only completed 57 passes through the first 6 games. Now they're throwing the ball with Papantonis out. Rose run to the left, throws it back, and throws it out of bounds. That'll bring up second down.
A lot of pressure there. Ryan Rose is able to stay in composure and throw the ball away. Sometimes that's the best play you can make as a QB, is just getting rid of that ball.
So bring up second down. And this Union defense, they've only given up really the one big play, the Will Varney run that was 61 yards. Held Rochester off the scoreboard. Heard Coach Behrman, we asked him about it in the pregame, how about this defensive unit averaging only 13 points per game allowed and just 1 touchdown in the last 10 quarters. Now 11 quarters as we're a couple minutes into this third quarter. He likes the way that the defensive unit has been playing. This is Varney running left and running right in to Jack Flanagan, the senior from Connecticut, who makes the tackle right at midfield. It'll be 3rd and 6 for the Yellow Jackets.
Definitely a big play here. I think we're going to see them throw the ball as they've been doing a lot. Might depend on how Union stacks the box here.
Crowd in the sideline trying to get behind the Union College defense here. 3rd and 6 from midfield.
Union subs out a D lineman, puts in another safety. Running with a too high look here.
3 minutes into this second half. Big play here. 3rd and 6. Rose looking for a pass over the middle. Has got it. It's complete. Still fighting for yards and not going down, although the whistles blow. It is a first down. That's Aiden Papantonis.
Great
Makes
job
the catch.
Great job by Rose. Union sets up a really tricky coverage. They have 4 down linemen. They bring all 3 of their linebackers onto the line. Ends up 2 of them drop back in coverage. 1 of them blitzes. The one that blitzes is free. Rose is able to feel the pressure, and even with those linebackers that drop back, is able to find a guy wide open while getting hit and make a great first down.
Pickup of 9. They needed 6. So it'll be first down for the Yellow Jackets. Now they hand it off, and this is the freshman Jake Adelman, and Adelman gets 3 yards to the 38. So Rochester with a nice drive here out of the gates. First drive of the second half has eaten up a little more than 4 minutes. But can they finish it off here? The Yellow Jackets trailing 13-0. This Union defense has been able to bend but not broke. Rochester missed a field goal in the first half, had one clang off the uprights. Jordan Lowe-Dunny. Second down. Pocket collapses, but they get rid of it to Varney out of the backfield. And Varney spun down at the 35 by Spencer Goldstein. Goldstein has had a nice season this year, the senior from nearby Hudson, New York.
Rochester's definitely making the most of their downs now. Getting these short gains, 3-4 yards. Leads with these tough third down situations, but if you're able to make them, you can keep on moving.
Goldstein leads the Union defense in tackles for loss, sacks, and interceptions. Made a nice tackle there, sets up 3rd down and 4. Rose in the pistol for Rochester. 4 receivers, he's gonna throw it. He's looking for Trey Johnson, and it's broken up. Almost intercepted by Christian Mays, who was in one-on-one coverage and almost came up with the interception.
It's a good decision by Rose there. Union stacked their DBs to the trip side, having about 5 guys to cover the 3 receivers. Makes the decision to throw to the one-on-one coverage, but Mays, just beautiful coverage there.
So it'll be 4th down. Rochester's keeping its offense out on the field. 4th and 4 from the 35. Big play in this first half, or second half rather, to start. First drive of the second half. 4th and 4. Rose takes the snap, looking to throw. Throws it, it's complete to Trey Johnson. And Johnson just goes right down at the 25 as he makes the catch. And Johnson's got 3 catches on this drive to keep the drive alive. It'll be 1st and 10, Yellow Jackets at the 25.
Johnson did a great job sitting right in between that deep zone that the cornerback had and the short zone of the linebacker. Just sat there and waited for Rose to make the pass to him.
So now Rochester will take a little bit of time to get ready for this first down. 1st and 10 from the 25. Rose again in the pistol. 2 receivers to the near side, fakes the handoff. Now he's throwing it over the middle. He's got a man, touchdown. Trey Johnson again on this drive. And Rochester is on the scoreboard as Rose connects for the touchdown.
Trey Johnson just makes a great move there against Azariah Lewis. Gets a good 5-yard separation, and that's just an easy pass over the middle. Just a great offensive push by Rochester on that drive.
They drive it all the way down the field, 75 yards on the opening drive of the second half. A couple of key 3rd down conversions. And Trey Johnson with a touchdown reception. And on the extra point here, we've got a flag. A whole bunch of guys moved up front, but they never snapped it. And now a Rochester player looks like they're injured.
Maybe the center.
That was a weird play on the extra point conversion. Players from both teams started moving, but the ball was never snapped. The injured player, it looks like, is 65, Matt Berselli. penalty was on Union. So it's 13-6 with 8:57 to go. We got a timeout as they look at Berselli. Union fans have an online store for all of your shopping needs. Visit UnionAthleticsGear.com for college gear and gifts for that Union fan in your life. Visit UnionAthleticsGear.com. That's all one word, Union Athletics with an S, gear.com. As I think it is 65, Matt Berselli, the senior from Gainesville, Florida, who is heading off the field. So they move the football a little closer, half the distance. Rochester's still going to set up for the extra point, and they probably should here, as now it's just a touchdown, 7-point difference, and an extra point could make it a 6-point game, as it's Jordan Lodani out for the extra point. He's had one field goal clang off the uprights, 8 of 10 on extra points this season. And the kick is up, and it is good. So with 8:57 to go here in the third quarter, it's Union 13 and Rochester 7. The Yellow Jackets on the scoreboard here on the first drive of the second half here. You are listening and watching to Union College Football, UnionAthletics.com.
Union definitely having a little bit of a flashbacks to the Utica game here. A little bit of a comeback arising on the Rochester sideline. Only up by 6 points now, less than a score. Union's going to have to definitely come back and answer here with a score of their own.
And Union's had 3 scoring drives, Connor, but they've all been tough. I mean, Rochester's made them work for every yard they've gotten. So if you're Union right now, you got to be thinking, you get the football here for the first time in the second half. Rochester, whatever they talked about in the locker room, came out. Offense was moving right down the field, 75-yard drive. It looked pretty good.
Yeah, Union hasn't even scored in the red zone yet either. Their only touchdown came off a long pass. So far, Rochester has been able to hold them to field goals when they've made it into the red zone.
The sophomore Jordan Lodani, who just kicked the extra point from Watertown, Mass, boots it away. And a nice kick. Goes all the way into the end zone for a touchback. So that's where Union will start.
Brown Coach is the official charter company and a proud supporter of Union College Athletics.
We've got an update from the Hobart St. Lawrence game. The Statesmen lead that game 10-0 up in St. Lawrence. That's the other game going on. That was a 1 o'clock start. So first half up there in Canton at Leckenby Stadium. 8:57 to go here in the third quarter. All of a sudden a new looking game as it's 13-7. Rochester getting a touchdown on the first drive of the second half. Now let's see what Union does with the football, as now the Dutchmen lead just by 6 points in this game. One-score game. Pachetti takes the shotgun snap, looks to the near side for Ross Jr. Ross Jr. trying to spin away. He finally does. Came out of his shoes there. He's only got one shoe.
Yeah, I was thinking about it before the play, seeing Andre Ross Jr. single coverage all alone like that. Pachetti probably knew before the play that he was going to pull that ball and throw it to him. Still a great job tackling by Rochester. Most of the times there you see Andre Ross one-on-one versus the defender. He's gone, heading for the end zone. But the great tackling of Rochester has kept them in this game and stalled the Union offense.
11-yard pickup, good for a first down. It was Judah Thomas who got Ross Jr.'s shoe, literally. And now they stop Irabor in the backfield as it was number 20. Braden Bush, senior defensive lineman who's from Canton, drops Irabor for a 2-yard loss back to the 34. It'll be second and long. And I would say Union's had trouble really establishing the run in this game. It's an offense that's averaging over 250 yards per game rushing the football. They just really haven't been able to get it going this afternoon.
Judah Thompson, who made the tackle on Andre Ross, too. As a D-back, he's had seven tackles so far in this game. 8 with the one on Andre Ross. Just a great day for him, especially as a cornerback getting that many tackles.
Pachetti's pass comes to the near side with Turton. And Turton was hit right backwards. There's Thomas again. I believe it was in on the tackle. It'll be a pickup of 5 out to the 44, but it's going to be 3rd down and long here.
Yeah, that makes it 9 tackles for Judah Thompson, all unassisted. Really impressive to make solo tackles like that in space. It's one of the hardest things to do in football.
So it's 3rd down and 7. 3rd and long here for the Dutchmen. They've got to get to the 46 to keep this drive alive. Paquetti in the shotgun, Iribor standing next to him. Paquetti, quick throw. He's got his man. He's got enough for a 1st down, as I believe it's Dunneman. And it is Nicholas Dunneman. So Paquetti, quick fire, just kind of took the shotgun snap and fired it out for Dunneman. And it's enough for the 1st down. They got to the 48-yard line. And the Dutchmen, a much-needed 1st down there.
Yeah, Paquetti threw a great ball, just barely got over the outstretched hands of the linebacker perfectly to Dunneman.
Now IK Iribor. Iribor trying to get to the sideline. He's got nowhere to go, as making the tackle was Keaton Snow, sophomore linebacker from Corning, New York. And Caden Cole also in there, the 5th-year leader of this defense. To talk about the defense, it's Caden Cole, the Utah native who led the team with 80 tackles last year, came into this game leading tackler with 58 tackles. And Coach Martinovich said really the leader of the group. He's the veteran kind of bringing everybody else along. Number 1, Caden Cole. Paquetti on 2nd and 11. His throw just off the fingertips of Dunneman, and it goes incomplete. Would have been 1st down and a lot more, but it goes off the hands of Dunneman, incomplete.
Leaves us with another really important 3rd down here. Long one.
And again, this is a 1-score game. Union scored 3 times, but only 2 field goals and a touchdown, which means they're only up by 6 points here. So Rochester trying to get the football back. 3rd and 11 for the Dutchmen from the Union 47. They've got to get all the way to the Rochester 42. And just reset the play clock. I thought the play clock would be winding down. It's still 20 seconds to go on it.
Open set.
Nobody in the backfield with Paquetti. They're going to throw a flag, and now Paquetti scrambling. And I was going to say it doesn't make much difference, but now it maybe does, because does Rochester decline this penalty because Paquetti is about 4 yards shy of the 1st down?
Yeah, it would be about
I'd probably push him back.
Yeah.
Because 4th and 4, Union probably going to go for it.
Yeah, especially past the 50.
So they're looking to Chad Martinovich, the Rochester head coach, and I think he is going to accept this penalty, a hold against the Dutchman.
It'll be about a 15-yard penalty, so maybe more. Yeah, it'll be about 17-yard penalty. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, I think they're moving it, from the initial line.
Spot.
Yeah. So it'll be 3rd and I don't think he marked up enough yards there. It's going to be 3rd and long. It was 3rd and 11. I don't think they moved it far enough back, but it's at the 37.
It's a long 3rd down.
Yeah. Well, maybe they did, because it was at the 48. Move it to the 37. Or it was at the, I don't know. Yeah, it was 11 yard. Looks like 11-yard penalty. Paquetti going long on 3rd down, putting it up there, and there's a flag down. A couple of flags, actually 3 flags, as that wasn't really needed for Rochester. Ross Jr. was down there, but Rochester didn't need to do that because they had a couple of guys in the area. And number 41, it looked like it was, Faison Munir, just kind of ended up running over Ross Jr.
He was number 1.
A 1, not 41?
Yeah. Caden Cole. Oh, 7? So 7.
They said 7. Simon Weiren. He's a safety.
Yeah.
I thought I saw 41, but I guess it maybe was you saw 1, yeah.
And that's an automatic 1st down because it's personal foul.
Automatic 1st down. Obviously doesn't gain enough yards to get a 1st down, but it's an automatic 1st down moves the football to the Rochester 48. That's a huge penalty as it keeps the Union offense on the field. Rochester, again, didn't need to do that. I mean, the ball was looking for Ross Jr. They had guys in coverage. They end up just running over Ross Jr. Here's Iribor now running right. And Ike Iribor getting about 4 yards, but everything coming difficult. No big holes against this Rochester defensive line. Give them credit.
Second down from the 44.
A lot of guys up there, including Victor Little, who I see out there, a freshman on Rochester from nearby Glenville, New York. Burnt Hills Ballston Lake graduate is in the game. They're going to give it to Iribor again, and Iribor maybe had a hole, but he got ran down from behind.
Rochester's definitely trying to play the run here. Ooh.
Yeah, that was Jordy Tawa.
Iribor's down on
And
the field.
Iribor stays down on the field. He's been banged up this season. Came into the game with just 486 yards through the first 6 games. That's a lot, but not for a guy who has over 3,000 rushing yards in his career.
Yeah, they've definitely been trying to avoid injury for him playing so many running backs, but getting tackled from behind like that, it can always be dangerous.
And now Iribor kind of hops up to his feet and looks to be at least okay enough to walk off under his own power, which is a great sign for the Dutchman. It's going to be 3rd down and long again for Union, about 3rd and 6 from the Rochester 44.
Rochester was playing for the run before. I'd imagine they're going to play for the pass now.
And does head coach Jeff Behrman for the Union sideline, does he think about, hey, we got 2 downs to get 6 yards here because we're at the Rochester 44? Or do you want to try to pin their offense if it comes to 4th down?
Yep.
So some
Fiore,
decisions, lots of
running
decisions
back.
here to make as Michael Fiore's come into the game
That tight end in too.
at running back. And
Rochester's putting a few guys in the box, not many, only 3-man rush.
Paquetti running out of time. He kept himself up. And now he's going to be pushed out of bounds. Oh, my. Paquetti almost went down way in the backfield, somehow stayed on his feet, and got back to the original line of scrimmage. And now there's some discussion on the sideline here.
It was a beautiful rush by the defensive line for Rochester. Only sent 3 guys, but still got there and made some pressure on Paquetti.
And Union's going to bring out the punt team as it's Paquetti maybe got a yard. It's going to bring up 4th and 5 or so.
I think Paquetti might have actually lost a yard on that run.
Yeah, he's out. It's out at the 43. You might be right. Gain a yard, lost a yard. Andrew Lau out to punt the football away here. Under 4 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. And a low snap, and now Lau's got to get rid of it here. And he's going to be taken down way in the backfield. Absolutely not what you wanted, as Rochester's going to get the ball at the Union 32-yard line, as it was a low snap to Lau. And now all of a sudden Rochester's got the momentum, Connor, and they've got the football on the Union side of the field.
Yeah, it's a big play. It's a big momentum shift. I keep calling back to it, but there's always that Utica game hanging in the minds. This is a great opportunity if Rochester can punch this in. Suddenly they might have a lead with just an extra point.
Yeah, as you said, Rochester's defense kept them in it in the first half. It was 13-0. Now they've scored. This is their 2nd drive of the 2nd half. Rose fakes the handoff. He's got some time. Now the pocket collapses. He's rushing to his right and going to get rid of it, and it's incomplete. Looking for Trey Johnson. Pass was incomplete. But now Rochester's got some momentum, and they're feeling good about themselves on offense. It's 2nd and 10 after the, you go for the punt there, and Lau is maybe going to pin them inside. Who knows? Even, inside the 10, inside the 20. Bad snap. Lau gets tackled, and Rochester's got the ball at Union's 33-yard line. And all of a sudden, it's a completely different game here. Second down and 10 for the Rochester offense. We got 3 receivers, 2 to the far side with Rose in the pistol. Fakes the handoff, looking again for Trey Johnson, and the pass is incomplete. Christian Mays in coverage and Nathan Sullivan over the top.
A lot of contact with Mays there. Led to, like, stalled up the route a lot, but that's legal under 5 yards. Just great job by him, able to slow up the route, mess up the timing between Rose and his intended receiver.
Huge play here, 3rd and 10. Rochester trying to keep this drive that started right here after the bad punt, or the bad snap on the punt.
3rd down, they're not in field goal range yet either, so it's definitely 4-down territory.
4 receivers, 2 to each side for Rose. Rose drops back. Now he's running out of time. Now he scrambles ahead, able to get some yardage before being tackled by number 97, Charlie Johnson. And now it's 4th down and 4 or 5, and I think Rochester's going to keep the offense on the field here.
Yeah, it'd definitely be a very long field goal, especially with the one they missed earlier.
Yeah, it'd be about a 45-yarder. Ball's at the 28-yard line. They have to get to the 23. So it's 4th and 5.
We haven't seen them run the ball yet this drive, but Union's stacking the defensive line right now.
Crowd really trying to get behind the Union defense here. 4th down and 5. Pocket collapses and he goes down as Rose is sacked by Jack Flanagan. Boy, oh boy, Flanagan like shot out of a cannon. Rose had no time whatsoever, and it's a turnover on downs. You can't really fault the quarterback there as Jack Flanagan with a huge sack for this Union defense.
Definitely you could see the Rochester O-line yelling at each other after that play. Somebody just did not do at all what they were supposed to. Nobody touched Flanagan on his way to the quarterback there.
I mean, Flanagan couldn't have got in there any faster if he had started where the quarterback was. I mean, he was like shot out of a cannon, and a huge sack. What a game-changing play there, as you're thinking Rochester maybe goes in, maybe scores, maybe takes the lead. And now Union gets the football back. Paquetti, play action. He's going to go deep, looking for Dunneman. And it's underthrown a bit off the hands. Maybe Dunneman, but also in coverage there, Judah Thomas, who we've talked about quite a bit, the freshman from Minnesota.
Yeah, as a freshman, getting a really tough job having to cover Dunneman, another freshman. But great job there. Ball, he gets beat. But the ball is a little bit underthrown, and he just keeps running, gets there, and makes an amazing play to break up the pass.
Well, you see that so often. You get a game-changing play, and then all of a sudden you take a deep shot, and Paquetti did there. Just a little bit underthrown, maybe. Now a big run from Anderson, as Jonathan Anderson on 2nd down picks up 9 yards out to the 47. He ran so fast, he ran right into Ross Jr., who was trying to block downfield.
He could have got a lot more yards if he didn't. Just trying to avoid the DB coming from the left side of the field and just ran right into him. Rochester doesn't quite stack the box here.
3rd and 1. Anderson's got the 1st down and a lot more all the way onto the Rochester side of the field down to the 45-yard line. Yeah, I'm not sure why, you mentioned it, I'm not sure why Rochester didn't, maybe they're just thinking, we don't want to get beat deep here, but 3rd and 1, you would think the Union's going to be running the football to try to keep this drive extended.
Yeah, definitely been worried about the pass lately. I just think they got a little bit overconfident with how well they stopped the run in the first half, trying to get a little more help in coverage now. They put a lot of guys on the line here.
Here's Anderson trying to get behind his blockers. Picks up a block, now gets spun around. Inside the 40-yard line he goes. He's tackled by Braden Bush.
Great patience there by Anderson. Gets to his first hole. It's not open. Kind of does a little bit of a side shuffle, moves down to about the C gap, and then just sees his spot and explodes forward. Ends up getting his yards.
2nd down and 4. Ball at the Rochester 39. Final minute of this 3rd quarter. Union leading 13-7. Haven't scored in this 2nd half. The only score coming on a Rochester pass from Rose to Trey Johnson. This is a running play to the left side. Fiore gets close to the first down. It looks like they're going to mark him just short of the first down.
Another third and short here. We'll see if Rochester's able to stop Union this time.
See if Union even snaps it here. Under 30 seconds to go. Now 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. The play clock hasn't even started yet. I don't know. It still hasn't started. They're going to snap it. Fiore pushes ahead for the first down, and on the final play of the third quarter, Union gets a first down inside the 35, close to the 30-yard line, and that's where we'll start this fourth quarter. So a interesting third quarter there, which saw the momentum swing in both directions. Rochester gets a touchdown on the first possession of the second half, and it looked like maybe they were going to take the lead before a big stop and a sack from Jack Flanagan. After 3 quarters of play, it's Union 13, Rochester 7. You're listening to Union College Football and watching Union College Football on UnionAthleticsGear.com. Union College Football would like to thank the following sponsors for their support this season: Brown Coach, CDPHP, Center Street Pub, Courtyard by Marriott, Mohawk Harbor, Curtis Lumber, Doubletree by Hilton, Katie O'Byrne's Irish Pub, Ortho New York, New Country Lexus of Latham, Homewood Suites, all supporters of Union College and Union College football. As we go into the fourth quarter here, Union leading at 13-7. Andrew Santillo and Connor Collette up here in the press box. Again, a beautiful afternoon, a good crowd here on hand at Frank Bailey Field for this afternoon's game between Union and Rochester. The Dutchmen leading it 13-7. We talked about it, Union coming off the bye. They've scored 40 or more points in 4 of the 6 games this year, Connor, but the offense, 3 scoring drives in the first half, but 2 of them field goals, has Union stuck at just 13 points through 3 quarters.
Yeah, just a great job here. Union hoping to stop Rochester, to get a score in here, to stop the momentum that Rochester has right now. Pushing in deep right now. One more field goal would definitely help them out a lot, creating it into a 2-score game.
First down and 10 for the Dutchman. Here's Fiore running right, trying to get behind his blockers, and he does a nice job to get close to the first down. He does get a first down all the way down to the 21-yard line, 12-yard pickup for Michael Fiore. And we talked about Fiore last week, 4 touchdowns for Fiore. And he's getting a little bit of action here in the second half. That's the thing with the Union. They have a guy rush for 4 touchdowns in the most recent game, and he's not even really your quote-unquote top running back, although they've got 4 guys who really can carry it. And here's Fiore again inside the 20, another nice pickup, 5 yards on first down to the 16.
Yeah, the Union run game is finally coming alive in this last drive between the third and fourth quarter after really, on Union standards for rushing, a really disappointing first half when they weren't able to rush the ball as much as they'd like to.
See if that offensive line can keep things going. A bunch of seniors up there, and Tim Driscoll, Kevin Dewing, Stan Koss, sophomore Matt McCorkle, and freshman Jacob Rubin, who's in at center. Came in when Nick Olivola got injured earlier in the first half. Here's Fiore again. Fiore has got the first down inside the 10. It'll be first and goal for Union College. As Fiore getting down to the 6. Michael Fiore having some success here on this drive. Simon Weirin on the tackle for the Yellow Jackets. The Dutchman trying to punch one into the end zone here.
Rochester
huge.
Rochester doesn't seem to have an answer for Fiore right now, getting over 5 yards each time he gets the ball in his hands.
And it's Fiore again. Fiore inside the 5, down to the 3. It'll bring up second and goal. And I guess you just do it again, right?
If it keeps working, there's no reason to stop it. Just give the ball to Fiore until he gets tired.
The problem for Rochester is you've got Dunneman and Ross Jr. set up on the far side. You got to cover them with at least 2 or 3 guys. So you don't have as many guys in the box to take care of the running game.
Yeah, Union loves to run the fade here to Andre Ross, so got to keep that in mind.
Piketty running with Fiore. Fiore gets right down to the goal line. And it looks like he's going to be marked short inside the 1. It'll bring up 3rd down and goal. And I guess you probably just run it again with Fiore.
I'd have to imagine.
I don't know if you want to get to, obviously you have other options here, but it's worked for positive yards here the last few plays. Well, let's see. Piketty now gets up under center. Rochester stacking the box defensively. Piketty going to hand for Fiore, who jumps into the end zone for a touchdown. Michael Fiore. A huge touchdown to push the Dutchman back up by 2 scores.
It's a great response by Union to the great Rochester drive, making it back into a 2-score game.
And for Fiore, his 7th rushing touchdown of the season, 10th rushing touchdown of his career. Fiore had 4 rushing touchdowns 2 weeks ago in the most recent game against St. Lawrence, but I bet that one feels pretty good because Union really needed it. Andrew Lau's extra point is up, and it is good. And with 12:08 to go in this game, it is Union 20, Rochester 7. You are watching and listening to Union College Football and UnionAthletics.com. Union fans, visit Katie O'Byrne's Irish Pub in downtown Schenectady, open for lunch and dinner before or after Union games. It's the place to watch college football, pro football, hockey with friends and family. That's Katie O'Byrne's Irish Pub, located in downtown Schenectady, a proud supporter of Union College athletics and Union College football. So a huge touchdown there from Michael Fiore puts Union up 20-7, and it really changes the momentum in this game. Rochester had the momentum. They score a touchdown, then they get the bad snap on the punt. Looks like they may be going in for a score to maybe take the lead. They're at the 30-yard line. A big sack from Jack Flanagan, and now a touchdown on the Dutchman offense. And Union back in control here, at least for the time being. It's 20-7.
We'll see if Rochester can replicate the success they had on that offensive drive to start the 3rd quarter, just driving down the field all the way for a touchdown. Haven't seen anything like that out of them besides that singular drive. We'll see if they can get something going here, especially with their passing game.
12:08 to go in this game. Well, we talked about there's important games down the road, and we talk about, Coach Behrman says 1-0 each week, and he beats it into his team's mind because they repeat it, and they believe it. But you've got bigger opponents down the road here. I'm sure Union's not overlooking anybody, but this game certainly closer than I think most people thought it might be at this point. 2-score game with 12 minutes to go, especially considering Rochester is playing without its best player in Daniel Papantonis. This is Will Varney running to the right. Gets maybe a yard. And again, if you joined us late, Rochester has played without the nation's leading rusher, Daniel Papantonis, who had 1,034 yards coming into the game. Still has 1,034 yards because he hasn't been out on the field. So it's been the combination of Will Varney and Jake Adelman in the backfield for the Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, they've only had a little success running. They had that one big play by Varney. See if they can get something like that going here, if they're just going to try to throw the ball that they've been doing in the second half.
2nd and 9. It is going to be Varney. They had 3 receivers to the near side. They run Varney to the right side, far side, or up the middle to the right. Varney gets 3 yards to the 30, and it'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Definitely a passing down for Rochester. See what kind of personnel they put in. 2 receivers out to the left, a tight end and a sniff on the line.
3rd down and 5 for Rose in the Yellow Jackets offense. Fakes the handoff. Now he's going to throw it up, and it's just out of the reach of the receiver, and it's Trey Johnson. They've looked his way how many times here? It's going to bring up 4th down, and Rochester is going to be forced to punt.
Fourth down from the 30.
That was a huge play. If Johnson hauls that in, Rochester keeps this drive alive, and it was near midfield. They've looked Trey Johnson's way how many times in the second half? He has the receiving touchdown. Came in the 3rd quarter.
Rochester keeps a lot of guys. When Rochester's been throwing the ball, they have to keep a lot of guys in for protection. Only leaves them with a few receivers, so you got to fit it in tight windows like that.
Wings punt is hauled in by Dunneman, and he's taken down inside the 20. Nice job there by J.B. Mills, a junior defensive back on special teams. Gets all the way down the field and tackles Dunneman at the 18-yard line.
Yeah, that's one thing that we've seen from Rochester all day is their ability to tackle well, which has really kept them in this game and stopped some of the Union big plays that we normally see. That's one thing that their coach emphasized.
Well, Union hasn't scored less than 21 points this season in a game. They've got 20 right now. So this would, as it stands, is their lowest scoring game of the year. 20-7 with 10.5 minutes to go. They've got the football back, 1st and 10 at the 18-yard line. They do have 4 scores in this game, but it's 2 field goals and 2 touchdowns. And here's IK Irabor, and Irabor gets out over the 25 to the 26. Pickup of 8 on 1st down. And at this point, we'll see, Union's offense been wearing down. Let's see how much of the Rochester defense, which has done an excellent job all afternoon on the running game, but how long can you hold up here against fresh running backs? Union's got 4 running backs out there. They've got fresh guys running the ball, and you've got the same guys out there every play on defense. See how it takes a toll here late in this 4th quarter. Pichetti takes the snap, gives for Irabor. Irabor running left. He's got the 1st down out to the 32-yard line, and you might see a steady dose of IK Irabor on this drive.
Yeah, Fiore had the last drive, drove all the way down, got a touchdown, and now we see Irabor on the field, just getting a ton of carries and making the most of them, getting enough yards to get that 1st down.
Well, we talked about Irabor in his 3 games against Rochester, 345 yards coming into this afternoon's game, and 7 touchdowns. So he's had a lot of success in his career against Rochester. Not much this afternoon. It'll be 1st and 10, though, for the Dutchman after back-to-back runs from number 0, IK Irabor. They fake the handoff, and they look to the near side, and it's off the mark. They were looking for Dunneman.
Pichetti loves to pull those run plays when he sees a favorable coverage he likes. You can see Dunneman one-on-one there at the bottom of your screen. Just a very favorable matchup, especially when you run a hitch like that. It's very easy for him to win those. Pichetti just doesn't quite get the ball out fast enough there, a little bit wobbly, not able to complete the pass.
Well, Irabor had 175 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns against Rochester back in 2018. That was his freshman year. A couple of 80-yard performances since then. He's running the left side here, and even on a short run, that's maybe 3 or 4 yards. This is going to be 3rd and long, though. Big play for Rochester's defense here to try to get off the field. Time running down on them, 8:45 to go in this game.
Yeah, Rochester has to stop. Has to stop Union soon to have a chance to get back to this game with 2 scores needed, only 8 minutes left in the game.
3rd down and 7. Union has to get to the 42 for a 1st down. Dutchmen have 3 receivers, 2 to the near side for Pichetti. Takes the snap, has some time, throws it. He's got his man Dunneman. Dunneman makes a move and gets to midfield. He's got the 1st down all the way to the Rochester side of the field. Boy, oh boy, every time the Union offense has needed a big play this afternoon, it's been freshman Nicholas Dunneman.
Dunneman catches the ball with 3 guys surrounding him, somehow escapes and gets an extra 5 yards.
1st and 10 for the Dutchman, ball at the Rochester 48. Of course, Union in no hurry here with a 2-score lead, under 8 minutes to go in this game. Piketty with 3 receivers, 2 to the near side. They're going to hand it off with Irabor. IK Irabor gets down to the 41. Pickup of 7 on first down, and now Union just trying to keep this drive moving, keep the clock running.
Yeah, there's really no reason for Union to pass the ball when you got Irabor running for 6-7 yards every chunk you give him.
Again, this is the 112th meeting between these two programs. Union's won the last 5 meetings. The last Rochester win came back in 2015. The Dutchmen have also won 26 of the last 30 matchups, dating back to 1991. Handoff, here's Irabor. Irabor made a nice move at the line of scrimmage, gets close to the first down. Looks like they're going to give it to him right at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, Irabor gives a little bit of a Heisman move there. Stiff arms the guy, puts him on the floor, and got the first down being called now.
Under 7 minutes to go, 6:40 to go in this game. Well, again, I think maybe a little closer than most people around the country would have thought, but Union's got a 2-score lead here with 6.5 minutes to go, and they're driving down the football field, trying to maybe tack on another score here at the end of this one. Piketty hands the ball to Irabor. Irabor and got a yard.
Rochester trying to dial back in, switching up some personnel on the defensive line, trying to stop this run game that's been so prolific for these past 2 drives for Union.
6 minutes to go in this game. Union leading at 20-7, and in no hurry here. Three receivers, 2 to the near side here for Piketty, who's in the shotgun or in the pistol, with Irabor behind him. Turns, fakes the handoff, completes the pass to Avery Turton. Here's Turton's got some room to run. Avery Turton all the way inside the 20. And it's a first down for the Dutchman all the way down to the 16-yard line. And that may have been the backbreaker there as Union gets another first down. The clock continues to run. And I think Rochester took a timeout. And unfortunately, though, they've got all 3 left. Now they've got 2, but there's only 5.5 minutes to go in this game. Union fans, Brown Coach is the official charter company and a proud supporter of Union College athletics. Call Brown Coach or Brown Travel for all of your charter and travel needs. That's Brown Coach, a proud supporter of Union College and Union College football.
Just as I talk about how Rochester needs to stop the run that's been dominating them in the second half, Union comes out and gets a 20-yard pass. Just shows how versatile this offense can be.
And it's Avery Turton. I mean, you've got
Yeah.
Robbie Tolbert, who I think he tweaked something earlier in the game. I haven't seen him out there, number 5. You've obviously got Dunneman, who's had a huge game. You've got Andre Ross Jr., who's one of the best receivers in school history if you look at the record books. I mean, so you've got so many different weapons. Then you got the 4 running backs. I mean, just really a hard team to defend against this Union College offense. You got fresh running backs coming in almost every drive. And Rochester, which has done an excellent job defensively, they've held Union to their lowest total to this point this season. But they're kind of running out of gas here as Union's got fresh legs in all of the skill positions, and Rochester's been out there. You know, we talked about it. They had, at halftime, Union had an advantage in the time of possession, and they've done a lot to add to that here in this 4th quarter.
Definitely.
So 5:23 to go in the game after that Rochester timeout. First down and 10 after the pass to Turton. Here's Irabor. Irabor picking his spot, still on his feet inside the 10. Did not go down there, just kind of stayed on his feet, kind of hopping and skipping and moving around there as Rochester's trying to take him down. And Rochester had a player, Braden Bush, lost his helmet, so he's got to come out for one play. Not one of the guys you want to have come out, your senior defensive lineman. Bush gets credit for the tackle. It'll be 2nd and 2 from the 8.
I think a lot like we saw
Second
last
one.
drive with Fiore. I think we're just going to see Union try to punch it in here with Iribor for the next couple plays. Only got another yard or two till you get a first down. Then you got another 4 just to punch it in.
Piketty in no hurry, 10 seconds on the play clock, 4:40 on the game clock. Takes the snap, gonna hand it for Iribor. Iribor bounces it outside, now gets into the end zone for a touchdown. IK Iribor. And that'll do it as Iribor scores here with 4:31 to go in this game.
It's amazing to see. It looks like Iribor has nothing. Suddenly he stiff arms one, jukes another, and he's heading for the corner pylon in the end zone.
Touchdown was scored by number 0, IK Iribor.
For Iribor, his 46th career rushing touchdown, which breaks a tie with Chris Coney and moves him into 2nd all-time in rushing touchdowns in school history. And it comes at a big time here as Andrew Lau's extra point is good. I think it may have hit the upright on the way through. And with 4:31 to go in the game, it is Union 27, Rochester 7. And Union, which may have been in some trouble after a bad snap on the punt, now looks to be in good shape here with 4.5 minutes to go. Union fans, be sure to stop by the Center Street Public House and Garden, located at 308 Union Street in Schenectady, featuring TVs to watch all of your favorite teams, great food, and live entertainment. Center Street is a proud partner of Union College Athletics and Union College football. That's the Center Street Public House and Garden, proud supporter of Union College football. So Union now up 27-7 and feeling pretty good about things. I'll tell you, boy, there was a big inflection point in this game when Union was up 13-7, a bad snap on the punt. Rochester's got the ball at the Union 33, and from then it's been all Dutchman, actually.
Yeah, I think that can definitely, this situation can definitely show the growth in this Union team from the time when sometimes losing that momentum can be scary and can lead to you losing the game, kind of like what happened in Utica. Here, Union doesn't back down. They lose the momentum, but they get right back up. They go down. They score. They don't let the bad plays weigh on them. And now suddenly they're up 3 scores with 4 minutes left in this game, looking to seal it away with some defense here.
Aiden Papantonis returned that kick out to the 27-yard line.
Aiden Papantonis on the return.
So that's where Rochester will start this drive, 1st and 10. But Union looks to be in good shape here, leading 27-7 with 4:26 to go. First play is a run to Varney. Got away from the initial hit and does a nice job to get up near the 35-yard line.
Varney on the play. Tackle on the play. Number 2.
Spot him just short of the 35, about 2nd and 2.
Number 7, Spencer Gold.
Well, I'll tell you, Will Varney, the stats are going to show that he had a good yardage day. He had the big 61-yard run. But I think really he's done a nice job coming back from injury with Papantonis out. He's done a nice job carrying the load here for the Rochester running game. Rose running out of time, flush to his right, pass complete on that far sideline. Oh, incomplete. Looking for the tight end, Jackson Kane. I guess he was bobbling it as he was going out of bounds.
It looks like Davion Clements knocks it out as they're both falling out of bounds. Great play by him.
So it's 3rd down and 2, ball at the Rochester 35.
Rochester staying with this double tight formation, only one receiver, despite being 3 scores down.
And this is Rose running the football, and he gets hit hard in the backfield. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to bring 4th down. But I'll tell you, this Union defense, Connor, didn't give up any points in the first half, gave up the touchdown to start the second half, and since then, it's been really all Union defense, as Jack Flanagan had a huge play, a sack on 4th down. And that has really turned this momentum around. Give credit to the Union defense. Varney, I think he got enough. One of the referees hit the deck there. Varney, I think, just got enough for the first down.
Close spot. It looks like one official has him far enough, one doesn't. Looks like they're calling it a first down.
That play results in first down for Rochester. First and 10.
So it is enough for the first down for the Yellow Jackets. Rose fakes the handoff, pass complete. This is Aiden Papantonis. Papantonis out close to the 45-yard line. 2.5 minutes to go. So it looks like Union's going to win this game. And we talk about every game obviously being important. You only play 10. You only play 6 league games. So Union's going to go to 6-1, 3-0 in the Liberty League, which is the most important thing. And you're going to have these huge set of games here, these last 3 games. You know, Hobart hasn't had quite the season we maybe thought they would, as Rose's pass all the way down the field on the far sideline, just out of the reach of Trey Johnson. Boy, oh boy, you gotta love the effort from Johnson there. They're down by 3 scores, and he is just laying out for that pass, which was just beyond his reach.
Yeah, it was a good ball. It was so close, just inches outside of where he was able to catch it.
So you've got at Hobart next week. Obviously, that's a huge game whenever you go out to Geneva. They're going to give it to Varney. Varney's got the first down. He's onto the Union side of the field. So you're going to go out to Hobart next week. That's a huge game. Then you've got Ithaca here, which Ithaca's 7-0 right now, ranked in the top 15. And then you've got the Dutchman Shoes game. So, I mean, it doesn't get any easier here for Union. Obviously, this game on paper was a huge advantage towards Union. They were in a dogfight. It was 13-7. Rochester had the momentum. They had the football. Union's defense came up big, led by Jack Flanagan. They get a couple more touchdowns. Now some breathing room. Only 90 seconds to go in this game. Flag flies, and Rose is going to be sacked. Another flag goes down, as that was 38, I think, coming out for Union, making the play. Miguel Rodriguez, the linebacker, senior from Richmond Hill, New York. We got 2 flags down on this play, so a lot to sort out. But Union comes out of the bye. They're going to pick up a victory here. Referee looking to Union head coach Jeff Behrman to try to figure out, when are we going to decline it, accept it? He's looking over to defensive coordinator Rick Flanders. I think both of these penalties are on Rochester. So they decline both penalties. That means the sack will stand up there. Union's defense, again, a tremendous job. They gave up the touchdown on the opening drive of the second half, but since then, it has been nothing. And Rochester had a missed field goal, too, go off the upright. So Union's defense has bent but not broken in this game. Only 7 points, and now, Connor, they've given up 2 touchdowns in the last 3 games. That's it, 14 points in the last 3 games. This is a run for Adelman. Jake Adelman will take the ball to the Union 49-yard line. It's going to still be 3rd and long for Rochester as we approach the final minute in this game.
Yeah, probably. Rochester will probably end the game with the ball here. Only under a minute left.
I mean, it was tight at one point.
It was very tight.
You thought Rochester was maybe going to go down and take the lead potentially. 13-7. They had the football on Union side of the field.
I don't know if the momentum could have been more in their favor at that point.
Here's Rose. He's got time to throw. He's going to throw it out of bounds. It's going to be incomplete.
Stops the clock.
Bring up 4th down. We got one more read here. Union fans can count on Nico's for great pizza and wings. Visit Nico's or call for delivery, serving lunch, dinner, open for late night. Nico's Pizzeria and Rooftop Tavern, located on State Street in the heart of downtown Schenectady. A proud supporter of Union College Athletics, and Union College football. That's Nico's Pizzeria and Rooftop Tavern. So it'll be 4th down and 12. 32 seconds to go.
Rochester's got 3 receivers out here, 1 running back. Might be looking to throw the ball. They are.
Rose going to throw it short of the line to gain, but it's knocked down by James Gillespie. And Gillespie kind of does the incomplete sign for the referee. Turnover on downs, and with 28 seconds left, it'll be one more snap of the football, and Union's going to get out of here with a very hard-fought 27-7 victory.
James Gillespie. It will be 1st and 10 for Union from the 49.
So Union's going to win. We'll be back here in a couple of weeks, and it couldn't be any bigger as Ithaca will come to town 2 weeks from today, first weekend in November. Piketty will take one more snap. He'll take a knee, and that'll be the final play of this game.
2nd down.
Well, boy, it wasn't easy. Union is going to win. You're going to go to 3-0 in the Liberty League, 6-1 overall, and they'll win their 13th game in the Liberty League in the last 15. It's been a pretty good sustained success for Union head coach Jeff Behrman, who will pick up his 42nd win as Union College head coach. And that is a final here from Frank Bailey Field in Schenectady, New York. The final score, Union 27, Rochester 7. And that is a final. Union up to 6-1. Rochester drops to 2-5. And a big, hard-fought victory for this Union College team. Union will be on the road next week against Hobart, and then they'll be back here for the final home game of the regular season when they'll host 7-0 right now, Ithaca, in a game that I think everyone will have circled. Union right now 6-1, Ithaca 7-0, but we've still got another week to go before that game. And Ithaca's got a tough game in front of them, RPI. Yep. Union's got a trip to Geneva, New York to take on Hobart next weekend. Final score, Union 27, Rochester 7. We'll quickly tell you how we got there. First half scoring, Union's first score, the only score in the first quarter was an Andrew Lau 28-yard field goal that made it 3-0. Andrew Lau added a 35-yard field goal in the second quarter that made it 6-0. Later in the second quarter, right before halftime, 6.5 minutes to go before the half, Andre Ross Jr., a 36-yard touchdown reception from Donovan Piketty, made it 13-0. In the second half, Rochester came right out, though, and scored on its opening drive. The only touchdown they would score, Trey Johnson, touchdown reception from Ryan Rose, which made it 13-7. And then after a bad snap on a punt, Rochester got the football. Looked like they were in great position to maybe take the lead. And maybe the biggest play of the game, Jack Flanagan, the senior from Madison, Connecticut, sack, turnover on downs. Union gets the football back, and they add a couple of touchdowns, one from Michael Fiore and the other one from I.K. Irabor to make it 27-7, your final score. So Union up to 6-1, 3-0 in the Liberty League. Final thoughts?
It's great to see Union get a great win, especially coming off of bye week. Can always be a little tricky. It always helps you recover, but you don't know how you'll be feeling when you get back, if you'll be a little too lazy. But it's great to get a win versus this team. It really sets them up well for the hard schedule ahead of them. It's their hardest stretch all season, and some of their real challenges that they haven't faced so far that they'll have to be ready for mentally and physically. They got physically ready through the bye, and I think they got mentally ready through this win.
So that will do it here from Frank Bailey Field. Again, the final score, Union 27, Rochester 7. Some thank yous to hand out. Thank you, as always, to Union head coach Jeff Behrman for joining us in the pregame. Thank you to IK Irabor, who joined us at halftime. Thank you to Rochester head coach Chad Martinovich, who we talked to earlier this week. And thanks to Steve Sheridan, his sports information staff here at Union College, and athletic director Jim McLaughlin. As always, the Fighting Dutchman Gridiron Club as well for their support for these broadcasts. And thanks to you for tuning us in, for listening. If you couldn't make it to the game, we're glad you're able to join us and watch this game, a victorious game for the Union College Dutchmen as they win 27-7 over Rochester. 2 late touchdowns as they're able to pull away from a feisty Rochester squad and improve to 6-1. And again, as you said, big games still on the schedule here with 3 games remaining in the regular season for the Dutchmen, who improved to 6-1 and 3-0, still perfect in Liberty League play. So that'll do it from a sunny and warm Frank Bailey Field. I am Andrew Santillo for Connor Collette. That's all for this afternoon's game. The final score, Union College 27, Rochester, the University of Rochester 7. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good afternoon.